was enjoying the music.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I see people saying stuff like, "Oh, where is AP? AP, where are you?" But stop asking every time. I'm always late. I don't think this should be a surprise. It's always like this. People should get used to this. I thought this is my quality. I thought this is why people like me, because I'm always late. It's very predictable. You know, with other people you can't tell. You have to come directly on time to catch the show. But with me, you can be 5 minutes late. You will be on time. That's the good thing about Apostate Prophet. Yep.
You're setting the expectation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is actually good. This is my good quality. I'm being respectful to my to the viewers who come to my channel. You know, I don't want to start before all those who may be late arrive. You know, I do
Right.
it out of.
You're being fashionably late.
Exactly. See how I'm surrounding myself with excuses. Yeah. Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet again. I already said that. How is everybody doing? Let me know if everything sounds okay and looks okay. Yeah, I'm gaining weight. I'm sorry. It's because of COVID. I can't go to the. I haven't been going to the gym as I used to. Anyway, forget about me. I'm here today, finally, with Armin Navabi to talk about a certain subject that seems very interesting to the masses.
Yes.
Armin, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me again. Always happy to be here. I was just, we don't even have to do this live. I just want to be able to talk to you. If we have an excuse sometimes to just talk, just let me know. Like, even we don't have to, like, if you just want to talk and chill about something that just happened.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Because I have things to say to you that we cannot, like, make public. So we should do that. I can't tell you.
What could that possibly be? I don't want to arouse any suspicions here right now. But yeah, we should do that. I'm always available. You can always reach me.
Okay.
We could talk about all kinds of things. We could talk about the recent. I heard you disagreed with something that I said about pop culture recently.
Oh yes. I told people this is the great thing about our prophet, the ex-Muslim prophet, that we don't have to pretend that he's infallible. We can, the Muslims, they everything that their prophet did, they have to defend because they claim that he's fallible. But us ex-Muslims, we have a prophet that we get to criticize, that we get to be like, this is the great thing about being an ex-Muslim. Our prophet is fallible.
Well, theoretically,
You don't condemn us to blasphemy. We don't, if we disagree with you on something.
Only right now. I don't have any power. I don't have an army. I don't have
Oh shit! Oh, this is your Mecca phase.
Of course, like with Muhammad, he didn't execute people who disagreed with him. He waited until he had the power. If I get to have a power, if I get to have a state, if I get to have the law in my own hands, then right now, theoretically, if you disagree with me, you are basically an apostate from the Apostate Prophet. But
wait, does that cancel each other? Does that make me a prophet?
Yes, it's two negatives makes positive. Yeah. But if you disagree with me once I have the power, then you're basically dead. That's how it works.
This is where your Patreon money is going, guys.
Of course,
he's building an army.
I'm building an empire.
Shit.
Yeah, I will kill you all.
I'm gonna make a video on that, blaspheming against the Apostate Prophet.
You should. That's a very good topic. I endorse that. Awesome, nice. So, you have been getting a lot of hate recently, right? Normally, it's always me getting so much hate. I've gotten so much hate in the last month for all the stuff that I've done. But you have gotten a lot of hate recently.
Yes, from an unexpected crowd to so many people.
Oh yeah.
From the religion that is not about hate, apparently.
Oh well, but we don't want to offend anybody today, and since everybody knows.
Well, let's focus on the positive then. I'm not just getting a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I'm also getting a lot of love because of you, because you shared some of our videos, and all of a sudden a lot of people discovered us. So let's focus on all the love that we're getting, especially all the love that we're getting from India. A lot of people feel like, oh, Armin, you pissed off everyone in India. First of all, no. Second of all, we're also getting a lot of people from India that, because of you, who discovered Atheist Republic and are now big fans, including Hindu fans. Including Hindu fans are like, you know what? I disagree with all these other people, and I support you. So yeah.
Well, there's a Hindu historian, for example, who is probably somewhere here in the live chat. Has been very supportive from the very beginning. So
even Hindutva supporters,
yeah,
Hindutva supporters that are saying like, you know what? I condemn all of this. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Awesome.
I like having a diversity of a diverse community of followers.
Yep.
But not conditional on me not pissing on their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I want to have a community of people with diverse opinions who will follow me, knowing that at some point I'm going to piss on something they care about.
So you want to have a number of people who support you, but who are also cognitively aware that you will at some point urinate on them. That is.
Muhammad Hijab is going to use it. I knew it.
This is the ultimate golden shower movement.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, with me, I mean the whole controversy that you have been experiencing recently. I mean, it's you know how I think. I don't have an issue with religion, although I don't really. I mean, I don't find it amazing, but I don't find it worth of I'm not an anti-theist, so I don't agree with with anti-theistic actions against religions, whereas I also don't agree with their reactions against you. But I appreciate it always if there is like a criticism of religion going on and a defense of religion going on. But the issue is that in this case, the more civil side has been you in this matter, because you have just been addressing stuff that people publicly believe in and publicly hold, whereas the reactions you have gotten were very personal and very aggressive and hostile. And I just thought, what the hell is going on, man? Now, I will always, even if I don't think the same way, even if I don't agree with whatever you're doing and saying, I will always agree with and want to protect the right to say things and appreciate the fact that things are being said. I will always be there.
I've never been clear on this, because it seems to me that you keep switching on this. I think like sometimes you say you don't agree with anti-theism for yourself, but you're glad other people are anti-theist.
No, I think I've been okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be an anti-theist. I'm not an anti-theist. Yeah, I am. Right. I'm not saying I wouldn't be. I am not an anti-theist. I'm not against religion. I don't hate religion. Right. I don't criticize religion. I don't think we need to get rid of religion. But I do appreciate the fact that there are people out there who are against religion and who go against religion, who say things against religion.
In the same way that I don't think that you need to focus on Islam, but I appreciate that we have you. I do think that we need somebody that focuses on Islam like you are.
We could this whole stream would be totally turned into we should totally do that at some point. But to summarize it, wait, what were you just saying? To summarize it, I don't think, in my personal opinion, trying to get rid of religion actively and focusing on that is kind of a waste of time to me, to be very honest. and we can discuss that.
We should have a stream on that. This stream is more about celebrating something that we both think is very valuable. Exactly. Because I don't want to. But do you want to have a stream on us going like head to head, like fighting on like why I think we should get rid of religion and why you think we shouldn't? Yeah, you want to do that?
I will beat you. I will beat you up. I will beat the hell out of you. We can do that. We can do that. Of course, I would love that.
Okay, let's do that.
But for now, let's go to
let's focus on
the good stuff.
on good stuff,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
winning, on our side winning, clear evidence that we're winning.
On everyone winning, on humanity winning. Here's the
Yes,
topic:
yes,
Iran is losing faith. Let's come to that conversation.
yes.
So, do you want to summarize what is going on? So, there's been big news that a lot of people in Iran have been losing faith in Islam. That lots of Iranian people have been leaving Islam. Do you want to go ahead and introduce that issue?
Well, I mean, we haven't had any reliable survey independent from the government in Iran for a very long time. Like the last time we had a survey like this was before the Islamic Republic's revolution. So imagine how much guesswork we were doing. Like a lot of people were suspecting, including myself, that in Iran so many people have gave up on Islam, right? But this was just a guess. We didn't have anything to base this on. Some people went and did some analysis, some very rough analysis that kind of suggested that things are moving in that direction very, very fast. So one of our interesting analysis was the names people pick for their children, right? So for example, my name, Armin, is not an Arabic name. But usually Arabic names are picked for children in Iran from parents that are more on the religious side, right? So if you see an Iranian with an Arabic name, that doesn't really say much about them on how religious they are, but it kind of suggests, again, this is not a accurate science, but it kind of suggests that maybe the parents are more on the religious side a little bit at least, right? But when you see a kid having a Persian name like Arash, Kaveh, Armin, Arman, right? Like so okay, and these are like pre-Islamic Persian names, and these kind of suggest that the parents are more on the nationalist, anti-Islamic side, right?
Can you quickly
Persia.
tell us what Armin means?
Really, you want?
Yes, yes.
Armin means the guardian of the Aryan land. Me being a far right bigot just confirmed. Like, I didn't pick the name.
I just love pointing that out. Just
why
for
you did this to me?
Okay, proceed. Thank you.
But so now finally we have a survey, and I just wanted to people understand every survey has its flaws, right? And that's why every survey comes with a margin of error, right? And that's why every good survey has an explanation for what the limitations of the survey are and what the flaws of the survey are, and how we need to read into the survey accordingly, right? So I know that whenever we get good news or bad news, there are people like, oh, well, we can't trust the survey because of this and that, right? Yes, you need to be skeptical of every information that you get, right? But when it comes to information that we could use, this is the best indication that we have right now of what's happening in Iran, okay? Nothing is perfect, but we haven't had this data like this that is more reliable than everything else that we have been using. Not the examples that I mentioned. What we're going to show you right now, okay? This is the most reliable, given the background of the people who are like experts in statistics and doing surveys and trying to correct for the errors. Like the sample size of this test was 50,000 people, okay, and more than 90% of it from within Iran, and they actually cleansed it. I think, if I remember correctly, they removed 10,000 of them because it didn't meet their criteria. Let me bring up this graph.
Did you want to show the? Because I just put it on the screen. Okay.
No, yeah, I was looking for that number to see how many of it they removed. Like, they did data cleanse
30-something thousand as the refined sample I saw, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was close to 40,000 the refined sample, because they wanted to make sure that anything that they were suspicious of was removed. Again, even with all that careful cleansing of the data, it's still going to not be 100% reliable. That's why they give it a margin of error. So all of that, so always be skeptical, but again, this is not, again, we're not religious. I mean, I'm anti-religious, right? So I know AP is not, but we don't rely on revelations. We don't think like this is sent from God and therefore this is reality. We just know that this is the best information that we have at this time. And based on the best information that we have today, Iran is not an Islamic country anymore. Iran is not an Islamic country. Muslims are a minority in Iran. I did not ever imagine that I could even say that sentence with any seriousness in my lifetime, right? Like, I didn't think like it would be possible, it would be a dream. I am one of the most optimistic people when it comes to our movement and fighting Islam. And even with all my optimism, I did not ever imagine us seeing anything like this ever in my generation or even the next one.
This is incredible. I'm just looking at the number. It says that the refined sample is 39,981 respondents. So 39,981 people. And from that data, they put out this graph, which you see. That is a huge number, by the way, for a survey. I worked in research myself long ago, and very big companies use samples, use numbers that are much lower than this.
Yes.
And expect a high reliability rate of like 95%. This survey took 39,981 people as respondents out of 50,000 and bases the data completely on those. And this is the results that you get, which is huge.
So all the polls that you're seeing, for example, with Trump and Biden and the elections, those polls, like they have like 1,000, 2,000. Again, it's mostly about the data collection method is more important as well, not just the sample size. It needs to be randomized as much as possible. So again, and those studies are considered, those surveys are considered very accurate. But again, this is based on collecting 50,000 and getting rid of 11,000 of it and having close to 40,000. Okay, this is, as you know, again, I have to keep saying this. There are limitations to the study, and that's why there's a margin of error associated with it. But again, even after adjusting for the margin of error, even after that, Muslims are a minority in Iran. Muslims are a minority group in Iran.
So what we see here is this. This is the face, the cover of the report, which this organization published themselves, which conducted the study. And in this one, you see clearly Shiite Muslim, which is supposed to be the majority in Iran, is 32.2%. Sunni Muslim, you see down there, is 5%. Mystical Sufi, 3.2%. So if you add it up, like you don't surpass 40% in Muslims, which is ridiculous. This is exceptional for a supposedly Muslim country.
Yes. And okay, so one thing interesting is, I know you're as an atheist, I have to say, right, that the atheist 8.8% is just self-identifying atheists, right? But if you actually use the definition of atheism, we'll get to that in other graphs as well. Atheists will be 20%.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says atheist 8.8%, but this is only the people who will, if you ask them if they're an atheist, they would say yes, they're an atheist. But if you include all the people who don't believe in God, because we will identify them as an atheist, even though they don't call themselves atheists, that number will be 20%. So that's great. But by the way, all the people that think like, oh yeah, people in Iran are leaving Islam and going to Christianity. Nope, they're not. They're leaving religion as a whole. Okay, Christians are 1.5%, and you'll see lower people who left Islam, they just became not religious at all. But to your God believers, a lot of them still do believe in God, but neither Christianity nor Islam, and not Zoroastrianism. All these Hindu people are like, oh, make Iran Zoroastrian again. That's not happening as well. Okay, people are abandoning religion as a whole. They're not going to Zoroastrianism.
It's kind of a weird idea to go back to Zoroastrianism. I never understand that sentiment. It doesn't really make sense. It's it's a weird thing to do.
Zoroastrianism.
It's a weird thing to think that people should go back to Zoroastrianism. Like
they think like whatever was before Islam, that must be the best thing to do.
Yeah. But it doesn't really make sense. That whole sentiment.
No. Yeah. So no, Zoroastrianism. And another thing, the people that are actual Zoroastrians, a lot of them hate this new Zoroastrian movement because they say like, yeah, this is just a political thing. Like, can you guys leave us alone? Like, we are the actual Zoroastrians, and these people are just becoming neo-Zoroastrians, and they have no idea what the religion stands for. And this is just a political move against the regime, and you're bringing a lot of negative attention to us. And can you just let us play with fire? And then you guys go play your political game somewhere else. Leave us alone. It's kind of like the pagans in Europe. How a lot of far right people are now using like Norse mythology symbolism, and a lot of pagans in Europe are like, can you guys stop using our symbols? You're making us look bad. So it's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
By the way, someone asked, what is the red section? It's not clear. The red is just if you ask people which of these groups do you belong to? Are you a Muslim, agnostic, atheist, whatever? There are many people who are like, well, none. Even if they don't believe in anything, they will not say they are atheists, and they will not say they are agnostics. They will just say, none. I don't believe.
I choose none of these. None of these.
No labels. So those are basically that.
Yeah.
Those are red.
Yeah.
Either they're unsure, they don't have a proper positive opinion or positive position on any of these viewpoints, any of these beliefs, and they just do it there.
For people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into the
next graph?
Yeah, we can go into the.
There's so many good.
Do you want to go into the bullet points, or do you want to go into the graphs?
Oh, you want to do the bullet points or the graphs first?
If you want to go to the graphs first, you can do that too. People like graphs.
People are visual. You like.
I like text. I'm a text nerd. I don't like
text nerd. All right, so this is the next graph. Okay, so 78% of people still do believe in God. So this is the question says, which of the following do you believe in? Multiple options could be chosen. Okay, so when it comes to God, 78.3% said they do believe in God. Okay, 37 point only. Oh my God, look at this result.
I know.
Only 37% of people say they believe in life after death.
This is ridiculous for a supposedly Muslim country. You cannot see this in any Muslim country that only 37% of people believe in life after death. This is ridiculous. Even if you go to Turkey, it'll be like 80% or something. I would think, and the fact that so few people in Iran believe that there is life after death is insane. I have no idea what is going on here.
So Iran is basically
faith.
If you look at Wikipedia right now, for example, Iran is still officially considered 98% Muslim. How could Iran be 98% Muslim if only 37% of the people believe in Akhirat, right?
This is a fundamental belief. If you don't believe in that, you're not a Muslim. Yeah, you cannot be a Muslim if you don't believe in that.
Right. So 37% of people believe in heaven and hell. So I guess that 7% believes in So 37% believe in life after death, but only 30% believe in heaven and hell. So that 7% probably believes in some spiritual, I don't know, energy, become one with the universe kind of bull crap.
Or maybe
reincarnation or something like that, right?
Yeah.
27.8% believe in any religion. Any religion. So whether it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, 27.8%. So out of the 78.3% that believe in God, I think most of them can be considered deists.
Wait, I don't understand the thing here. What is I don't understand the concept here. What does this mean? 27.8% believe in religion.
So basically that means that 73% or 72.2% believe in some form of a religion. Sorry. Don't believe in any form of a religion, right? So religion means that only 27.8% of people associate with a form of religion, right? The rest of them, even if they believe in God, they have no religion.
I still don't get it.
So if you so the 27.8% includes the the people. Wait, actually, that doesn't make sense. Do you believe
because there's 27.8%. But if you look at the graph above, you clearly see
that makes
that so many people believe in religion. So
let's actually look at that.
When I see the explanation above here, it says Figure 1 shows that 78% of Iranians believe in God. It says 28% believe in the
concept of religion.
Okay, concept.
So what does that mean? So that means that from the Muslims above, a lot of them probably believe that Islam is not a religion; it's a way of life. Kind of fucking bullshit. Oh, sorry. Can I swear on this channel?
You shouldn't swear.
Oh, sorry. No, it's kind of like Christians have say like Christianity is not a religion or a madhab or a deen. It's just a relationship with God. Because there is a lot of anti-religious people say like, "Oh, I'm a Muslim," and they're like, "What do you think about religion?" And they say like, "Oh, I hate religion." Like, well, you just said you're a Muslim, so I guess it's kind of like that. What do you think? Is that your interpretation? Yeah, actually, there is an explanation. It explains as Deen va Mazhab, 27%. So yeah, I guess that's what there needs to be a better explanation.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I wish there was a better explanation to what they mean by 28% belief in the concept of religion explained as a Deen. It clearly makes sense somewhere, but I have no idea how it makes sense.
No. So here's the thing: if you actually take studies in survey questions, the framing of the question really does impact how people answer a question, right? Right. So, for example, if you say, do you, I don't know, like if you say like, I don't know, do you like ice cream? Because people could say yes, right? If you say, well, do you like sugary foods? People will say no, because they know sugar is bad for you, right? So if you say, for example, do you like ice cream? You might get 80% of people say yes, but then if you ask them, do you like sugary foods? You might get 25% saying yes, because they know they're supposed to say sugary food is bad for you, right? So there is a negative. This is why a lot of Christians, for example, say, oh, Christianity is not a religion, it's a personal relationship with Christ, because they understand that there's a negative association with the concept of religion, right? Like religion has been, us anti-theists have done such a good work at making religion look bad, right? Around the world, that even religious people don't want to call their religion a religion, right? So if you ask somebody, are you a Muslim? They might say, yeah, of course I'm a Muslim, blah, blah, blah. But if you ask them, what do you think about religion? They'll be like, oh, fuck. Oh, say, I can't swear on this channel. Screw religion, right? They might say like, no, religion is bad. Religion is horrible for the world. Or this is why a lot of Hindus, for example, are so sensitive when it comes to, you say like, oh, we're against religion, including Hinduism, and they like lose their mind. They're like, Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of life. Like that's because because they don't like that. They don't want to be associated with any form of religion. But and this is why even you, for example, say that. Well, actually, this but people who have a positive association with religion, it works for them the other way around. For example, you say, though I think Islam is so bad that it's not even a religion, right? Because you have some positive feelings about some religions, right?
Well, the thing is, I kind of say that to be hyperbolic in a way. I'm kind of saying, it is obviously a religion, and I would say it is the worst form a religion can take, or it is the worst religion, but it is so bad. It's hard for me to call it a religion because it's something beyond that.
Izzy in your live chat is saying, I understand religion to be empty ritual when I was religious. So I see even people in your live chat are saying, yeah, when they were religious.
So the thing is, apparently, the question was apparently asked to people in such a specific way. Do you believe in din wa mazhab, in religion and branch, in religion and sect, which made people probably changes the answer to the question. But I guess we can just go over that and summarize.
No, but this is again. We have to understand these are the same people. Like it's not different surveys. These are the same people who answered Shia Muslim on the same survey. When they asked which one of these you are, they answered, you're Shia Muslim, and they say, "Yep, I'm a Shia Muslim,"
Yeah, yeah.
and they ask them later on in the survey, "Do you believe in Deen or Mazhab?" And less of them said, "Nope." Like, no,
Yeah. I guess there's something with the whole
I
way
like,
they ask the question, but
no, like, no, I don't believe in any Deen or Mazhab. Like, okay, but you said you're a Shia Muslim.
yeah.
Right.
Someone is attacking here. Someone is attacking you here. By the way, I like the Spike Man made a super chat and said, "Imagine being an anti-theist." But
I don't have to imagine it. I live it every day.
so, but the
next
crux
one.
of the matter is oh yeah, you were going on with this. You were going on with Jinn.
No, go on. The crux of the matter actually is
The crux of the matter is that if you look at the whole survey and the result of the survey, 78.3% of people who were asked in Iran, out of these 39,000 people, believe in God, whereas so 78.3% believe in God, which means over 20% do not. If you go down to the list, it says 19.6% say, "I don't believe in any of these." So any of these meaning any of the above. 19.6% don't believe in God, life after death, heaven and hell, jinn, religion, the coming of mankind's savior. And so
they're atheists. Even if they don't identify as atheists, these are atheists.
This is a huge number. This is an incredibly huge number for a Muslim country, as said. If people, for example, somebody in America probably has this picture of Iran, that Iran is a country that is highly religious, because Iran is led by this Islamist regime, which propagates to its own population and to the world this whole Iranian Islamist superiority. But if you look at the data, you see that 20% of people don't even believe in life after death, don't even believe in God, don't even believe in any of these things, and it makes you think this is very, very unnormal for a Muslim country. So Iran actually appears like an exceptionally irreligious country among countries that are called Muslim countries.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we anti-theists are happy that they didn't jump from Islam to Christianity, or
I will beat you up.
I'm glad that when they gave up on religion. Okay, but as an atheist, I still think that we have a lot of work to do with this God belief, right? You see, like, they left religion as a whole, which is very good, but they still believe in God. So that means that us making religion look bad has been working, apparently even among religious people. Like, oh, I'm not religious. I just have a personal relationship with Christ. When people say that means that we have done such a good job in making religion look bad, but we haven't done such a good job with God yet. Like, the belief in God needs to be attacked a lot more. So that's my job, really. So we'll get to it.
Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that religion is an amazing thing. I don't believe that society needs religion. In fact, everybody, a Christian would want the world to be more Christian. A Hindu would want people to be more Hindu. A Muslim would want the world to be more Muslim, and an atheist would want the world to be more atheistic, because you believe that is the truth out there. Sorry for putting this on the screen, by the way. But so it's completely. It's completely normal for me to also think a world in which people think outside of religion is probably a world that is more progressive, a world that goes with firmer, better steps into the future. Like, when I look at philosophy, I think much of philosophy is complete nonsense, built on justifying religious beliefs. So when I go through that stuff, I think, what the hell are you people talking about? And so obviously I think that way too. My lack of anti-theism is just that I don't do this as a form of activism, and that I wouldn't do it as a form of activism.
Right. Just don't worry. We'll take care of it for you.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But I do want to say that this is also why Atheist Republic has a Persian channel. Jumhuriye Bi Khodayan. By the way, if anybody speaks Persian, check that out. Which we actually now. This is why we are trying to get both these people and these people down here to subscribe to us. We actually have a Persian show coming up this weekend. of the debates between a Muslim and an atheist, a mullah Muslim and an atheist scientist, in Persian for all these people. So right, so that channel is growing, by the way. So that this, I was always wondering, why am I getting more views on my smaller Persian channel than my English atheist? And now I know why, because of all of this stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a big audience for it in Iran. So yeah, we, again, I'm glad that we are there to create content for this, because a lot of these people don't speak English. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that.
that is true. Okay, we're moving on to the next graph. We already looked at this. That was on the cover.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is so. This is the most important. This is the one that you could use to show that it's not just that change is happening. Like, it's not just a status quo situation. Like, oh, I guess people were just not. No, this shows that how dramatic of a change has been happening in such a short amount of time in Iran. Like, this was shocking even to the people that were doing the study, right? And they were trying to figure out an explanation for it. I mean, this survey itself has zero explanation for why the results are the way they are. Okay, the survey itself is just like, we did a survey, we cleaned it up. Here's the results, and here's the margin of error, and here's the limitations of the survey. It doesn't try to figure out, like, for example, when we saw up there, where we saw like the number of Shias and religious people add up more to the people that believe in religion. It doesn't come up with justification itself of why it's like that. It just gives you the data as it is, right? But so any justification that we or anybody else comes up with for any of these numbers, it's just guess, right? So we have to give that. So you take it all, like when I for example were giving you some guesses of why for that numbers where they are. There's no proof for any of our guesses here. These are just all hypotheses, and they're not even theories, right? So this number that we're looking at right now, the lowest bar, that is a number that a lot of people have many explanations for, and none of it is proven. But most of people's explanation is the same, and I'm going to tell you what that explanation is, right? And it could be completely wrong. So what we're looking at is, the question is, how have your religious or non-religious belief changed during your lifetime? Okay, so again, this is not a multi-generational change in people. This is not going from one generation to another generation to another generation and slowly people changing their mind. This is showing that 46.8% of the people in Iran, almost half of the people in Iran, went from being religious to non-religious within one lifetime, within their own lifetime. Half of the people in Iran used to be religious, and now they're not religious.
This is amazing. That's amazing.
What do you think the explanation for this, the most common explanation for this, is the one that people are giving?
I mean, people will obviously say that the Islamic regime, the Islamic government of Iran, has turned people away from Islam by being the way they are, by imposing Islam on society without society actually willing to practice it. And when society is forcibly and in such an atrocious way exposed to what the government gives them as Islam, then society starts getting sick of that and turning away from it and turning toward non-religious attitudes and worldviews. I would say that this is the most popular opinion.
That is exactly it. And also, that's the guess of the people who did this survey as well. Okay. And if that is true, that means that we should officially thank the Islamic Republic of Iran for achieving something that we could have not achieved in 100 lifetimes. So, of getting people, you know how you say, stay away from Islam?
Yeah.
The Islamic Republic of Iran has achieved that.
The Islamic Republic of Iran practically said stay away from Islam to people implicitly. They imposed Islam on the people and basically said stay away from Islam, everybody. This is your Islam. This is what you get if you want Islam. So that's
Yeah.
what they
People
did.
are like, this is Islam.
This is
Okay,
Islam.
okay. I'm gonna check out right now. I'm gonna be like, I don't want anything to do with this.
I'm out of here, guys.
I didn't know. Before the Islamic Republic, way more people in Iran respected Islam.
Well, they had some hope, right? I mean, as far as I looked into the history and into the sentiments of people who wanted this revolution to happen, so many people supported the revolution, and so many people supported the Islamic democracy because they thought that it is a democracy, and they didn't properly understand what they are agreeing to. And
yeah, but even the people who didn't support the revolution, and even the people that weren't religious themselves, even the people who weren't doing anything Islamic, they were like, oh, that is Islam. We have to have some respect for it, right? Like during the Shah's time, before the Islamic Revolution, people wouldn't be openly mocking religion or making fun of the Prophet or insulting the Imams. But now in Iran, that's every second joke. Do you know what I mean? Like the respect that people used to have for Islam is gone, even among the non-religious people.
This is actually a fantastic example of what John Locke and so many other Enlightenment thinkers pointed out with their with the idea of pursuing pursuing equality, pursuing secularism, freedom from religious authority, and things like that. What they were pointing out is that if you look back into history, you see that certain populations always try to impose their own religious thinking, their own religious beliefs onto society in the form of a government, and thereby want one certain religion to control the people and to make everyone abide by that specific belief. And as long as that happens, history will repeat itself over and over again, and populations will find themselves in destructive revolutions because something will be imposed on people. Then people will occasionally change their minds and get sick of what is being imposed on them. Then they will want to change the system and bring something instead of that, with which they then oppress people again. And then people will again go against that and be sick of that. So society will be in a continuous cycle of revolutions, which is why the only solution is to separate religion from state, leave religion to private institutions and to people, and let the state stay away from religion and just be secular. They thought that this is the only solution. This is the only way that we can actually find agreement, that we can find peace in society, and that we don't need violent revolutions. And here in Iran, we see a primary example of exactly that happening. An oppressive government has been formed based on the assumption that because many people or most people believe in this religion, this is what the society should be ruled by. But by imposing this, they are pushing society away from this belief. And in the end, society will want to give up on what they are doing. If they cannot do this voluntarily, then they will want to do this violently. This is what Islamic rule has caused.
So one thing is interesting about this graph is that there is all the differences that we expect is there. Like university educated people left religion more than not university educated people, but and also you can see the difference in younger people more than older people, and people in you can see the difference more in urban area, and then in the rural areas, and also you can see the difference between men more than women. All of this were expected, and the data shows that as well. But what I find interesting is that the difference is not that much, right? So the people that weren't educated in a university, still 45% of them abandoned religion. Right? People in rural areas still abandon religion by 40%. Okay, so And the one that passes, the only demographic that passes the half of 50% mark is the younger generation, right? So this actually shows that, yes, even older people left religion 40%, right? But the fact that this red line keeps growing at the younger it gets, that means that this trend is going to grow even more extreme in the future. Because like the only times that you see above 50% is younger people and also university educated people, right? So but 51% of younger people younger than 30 left religion. That means that going forward 10 years from now, 20 years from now, this red line is even going to be farther to the right. It's going to keep growing. Right. So the way to look at the difference between older and younger people is a way to predict what the trend is going to be like in the future. So I don't understand how this government can hold up with this.
Well, what you normally see in different countries, like in Turkey, I think when I looked at data, when I looked at surveys that find how many people believe and don't believe, it usually, as you said, the difference should be higher. We normally see that younger people are irreligious in massively high numbers, whereas the older population is very conservatively religious. But here you see that it's not just younger people; it's everybody.
Even 50-year people above 50, even them 40% have left it. That's crazy, right? By the way, another thing that this will mean is that this again gives credibility to the idea that the people of Iran have been taken hostage by an Islamic theocracy, an Islamic theocracy that keeps pretending that it's most of the people in that country want Islam. Okay. But no, like the Islamic theocracy in Iran doesn't represent its people. And if we go lower down, it doesn't even represent the religious people. It doesn't even represent the Shia Muslims in Iran. We'll actually get there. Let's see if I could.
I want to point out something quickly. So this is an online study, which is quite normal. It's actually becoming very popular for big research organizations, even for like Ipsos and Gallup and all those companies to conduct surveys online. And this was made in the same way. One downside of this is that it doesn't reach some people in society that are very old and that don't use modern technology.
But because you ask for the age and the political affiliation, you could adjust for that. You could.
But the thing is, this is actually a survey in which I would say, even if it sounds kind of bad, maybe I would say that very old people don't even matter very much to the point of this study. But even here, you see that people above the age of 50 have very much changed their opinions on religious beliefs, which is
what you just mentioned is actually explained. They touch on that in the limitation part of this survey, and they try to tell you how they try to take that into account and adjust for that. And even with them trying to take that into account and adjusting for that, it's not going to be perfect. But that's what you just mentioned is something that it was really high on the mind of the people who did it. Again, every good survey does mention these things and tries to tell you how they try to correct for all that, for all those limitations. And no survey is going to be perfect. But go on.
Sure. Sorry. One thing to point out, by the way, the blue fields, by the way, may be missed. Does not show people who stayed religious. It just shows that people didn't change their minds. So it may as well include religious people or irreligious people. The only thing that it shows is that people didn't change their attitudes much.
Yeah. And the gray area is the people who became religious after being non-religious.
Yeah. And now compare the gray to the red.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why Khamenei keep telling his people to have more babies. That's their only hope. They're like, come on, guys, give me those Muslim babies. I want you to make it. So that's what's happening. And this is why they don't want the Sunnis to have, like, they're trying to make the Sunnis have less babies. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Here, let's actually look at this one. How often do you perform namaz, prescribed prayers? or salat, the way you guys say it, right?
Uh,
So the red part, the giant red part, it says, "I
we
do
actually
not."
say namaz in Turkish.
What?
We actually say namaz in Turkish
You
too.
do? Oh
Yeah.
my, interesting. Wait, do you guys say hamd or fataha?
Uh, some people say Elham. Some people say Fatiha.
Oh, okay, because for a long time when I left Iran, people were like, "What the?" I was like, "Everyone's saying fataha. What the hell is fataha?" Like they're like, "Oh, this is what the hell? What, you don't know what fataha is?" Like, "Oh, you mean hamd? You mean surah hamd? Like, what the hell?"
Yeah. I,
Right,
I get that. Like Iranians have a different, different
right.
words they use for things. That was the issue too with me. Like, I was very very religious when I was a Muslim, and when I got into the international arena, many things suddenly didn't make sense to me because in Turkey, in religious environments, we don't use many Arabic words. We usually, try to use more the Turkish or the Persian way of saying things rather than the Arabic way. But yeah, anyway, okay.
So, so this is 60% of the people just say that they do not pray.
I made a video recently, not recently, that's like several months ago, in which I talked about how the Islamic 5 daily prayers are an atrocity, but forget that it is an atrocity. It is something that supposedly, listen to this, this is important. This is supposedly something that the Almighty Allah, the creator of humanity, the creator of everything, demands from every Muslim. So every Muslim, that this is part of the faith. This is an essential part of the faith. Every Muslim must pray 5 times a day. This is not something that you just do because you are pious or because you are very religious. No, this is like a basic thing. A basic, simple Muslim must pray 5 times a day. It is part of the requirements of being a Muslim.
Right.
But this is something that is so agonizing, something so hard, something so hard for human nature to do that most people don't do it. And now look at the graph. This is completely proving me right. Look how
Right.
many people do the 5 daily prayers according to this. 5
27.
times a day, 27.4% of people do the 5 daily prayers. And this is what Allah expects from every human out there according to Islam.
10% of people just pray when they really feel like they have a religious need. Like, damn it.
Man, this is wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed.
You know, when I was in Iran, I knew that some people, there are a lot of my classmates that didn't believe in religion, but even they ended up feeling like they need to pray during Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that? Like those kind of people? They're like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why are you praying? You don't even believe in God. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, but it's Ramadan. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand. What?
When I was religious, I always felt very weird when all those people who never have anything to do with religion suddenly go to the mosque in the morning on a holiday, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? Yeah,
I know there are some girls that go to the Ashura, when people like the people
yeah.
start beating their chests like for Hussein, like, oh, yo Hussein, right? And and I know for a fact there are girls that go there just to watch the boys, right? Because a lot of them are like shirtless and just they're beating their chest, and there's like a sea of young. And I know there's boys that are just, they don't believe in any religious. They're just there just to show off their bare chests, and they know like there are girls that are just drooling over them, and
Are
they're
you
just
saying?
getting what.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that I know that for a fact that that's the motivation behind some people getting involved in those
So
kind of
you're saying that humans actually go there for their sexual interest and their sexual desires.
Yeah, not for Hussein, not for Hussein.
Not for Hussein, but for sex. That is a very big.
I know people that work out getting ready for the Ashura. They're like, I need to lose some weight. I'm gonna be shirtless.
Okay, now I can do this.
Yeah. Like,
Oh my god!
yes.
I will go to Jahannam for
Some
this.
of my girl cousins were excited about these events. Like, you're supposed to be crying over somebody's dying, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at that! Look at the abs on that."
That is ridiculous. It's only
All
natural.
right.
I'm sorry. That's totally natural. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Okay, we believes in God and religious. Okay, we already did this. I want to go to the part that shows. Oh, you would like this one. To which of the following is your view on religion and legislation? Oh, do you want to know about shit? Do you want? Can you read this one? Do you want to read this one? Because I think
Yes.
this is something you would be very interested in.
To which of the following is your view on religion and legislation the closest? Religious prescriptions should be excluded from legislation, even if the religious hold a parliamentary majority. 68% of people believe religious prescriptions should be excluded from legislation, even if the religious hold a parliamentary majority. So 68% of people believe in secularism.
Yeah.
In the Islamic Republic of Iran, 68% of people believe in secularism.
Yeah.
Wow. That
And
is
then
the
so
law should
some
always comply with religious prescriptions. Only 14.4% believe that, which is like that's the fundamental system of Iran. The law should always comply with religious prescriptions. I'm not sufficiently informed to answer, which is 13.4%. They don't even care. If the religious win a majority in democratic elections, they have the right to ensure legislation's compliance with religious prescriptions. That's like they're just sitting on the fence here.
4%.
Yeah, 4%. But man, 68%. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran, where everything is supposed to be Islamic, where you're supposed to rule the state with Islam and make laws based on Islam and act in society according to Islam. And 68% believe that religion and legislation should be separated. Man,
it gets actually worse when we get to hijab and stuff. I can't wait for us to get to hijab.
man.
This one should be responsible. Oh, this one is interesting.
Religious organizations should be responsible for their own finances, 70.7%.
So if you have a religious organization, the government shouldn't be funding them. That's what they're saying.
We have secular countries in which not even half as many people think this way.
Right.
It's weird.
Let's see which of the following comes closest to your view. Yeah, let's check out this one. None. Okay, so which one of these come closest to you?
What?
Do you want me to?
Which of the following comes closest to your view? 42.6%. No followers of any religion should be allowed to promote their religion, proselytize in public.
Wait, okay, that's even too extreme for me.
I know, what the hell?
Okay, this is too extreme. I think they should be able to. What the hell? This is actually split almost in the middle. So 40% says followers of religions have the right to promote their religion in public. Yeah, I'm with the blue people here.
I know, me too. I would say followers of all religions have the right to promote their religion in public. I would say I would be there. I would be blue, but Iranians are
they're so sick and tired of Islam. That's why they're so sick and tired. That is crazy. This is more extreme. Again, this is why when I'm doing my Persian show and Jumhuriyat Bi Khodayan, that's why I'm dealing with some very extreme people. I have to deal with people that think that once this government falls, every tree has to have a mullah hanging from it. Right? That's the type of people that I have to deal with from within Iran. Right? There are many people that think as soon as the Islamic Republic falls, they're going to paint the streets red with the blood of the mullahs. That's what they think. I'm like, okay, guys, you're not helping. You are not helping. Okay, so
the thing is, many people, like atheists in the West, or even many ex-Muslims who spent their life in the West, who live in the West, don't really, I feel like often don't understand how people who live in Muslim countries, especially in one like Iran, where the government imposes Islam on you, how people there feel. People in such countries are extremely outraged. They couldn't care less about your whole, oh, don't be too offensive, or oh, you should criticize all of this. They don't care about that stuff. They want to they want to go violent against this whole
Yeah.
Islamic stuff because they are being genuinely oppressed. These people.
Imagine how frustrated and tired you are that you think that you should shut them up. Like not just from the government. They shouldn't even have a right to come in this. They shouldn't even be able to tell you to invite you to Islam. Even if they're privately funded, they're not government funded, they're not part of the government. If a mullah comes and says like, "Hey, do you want to know about Islam?" That stuff should be banned. God damn it, we're so sick. We have had enough of Islam.
Oh man,
that's what 42% of the people believe. Like that they want to legit ban Islam. That's what they want to do. They want to ban Islam in public places.
Let me show you the flag of Iran for all those who are not aware. This is the flag of Iran. The flag of Iran. It says here Allah in the middle. This is Allah in the middle in a strange way, and
it's a flower. It's like a flower.
And it says here over and over again, so many times. It says Allahu Akbar, 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 Allahu Akbar. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point. So this is the flag of Iran. This is the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran has a flag that says Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, numerous times, and has Allah in the middle of it. And the population of this country with this flag says, hey, you know what? People shouldn't be able to proselytize their religion in public. We are sick of this. That's what these people think. Man, that's insane.
All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. And children. It's about children now. Okay, so the first one says, I want my children to learn about diverse religious beliefs. Oh, actually, this is a good one for you to see how if you ask the questions in different ways, you get different answers. So the first one says, I want my child to learn about diverse religious beliefs in school. 53% said, yeah, I agree with that, right? And then they ask him, I want my child to be educated in religious teachings and duties in school. And then only 26% agree with that. So can you see what the difference between? What do you think? But it's the difference between.
Wait. I didn't. I want my child to learn about diverse religious beliefs in school. I want my child to be educated in religious teachings and duties in school. I guess the second question is referring to they should be educated on Islam. Is that what it's?
I think so. Especially when it comes to duties, people are like, no, I just want them to know about different religions. I don't want them to. I don't want you to tell them what to do. Religious teach. Not so again. See, if the phrasing is religious teachings and duties, they're like, don't tell my kids what to do.
56% of people think, no, my child shouldn't be educated on what they have to do according to their religion. But 53% say, yeah, my child should learn in school about different religious beliefs.
Different religious beliefs. Other,
See,
Islam.
This is amazing.
Yeah. But I can't wait for the hijab part here. Oh yeah, there we go. The hijab. Okay.
I believe in the practice of wearing the hijab. What the?
Okay, this is.
Reveal the numbers. Go ahead. I can't.
Okay, this is actually more extreme than I imagine. Okay, because the second question, the hijab should be mandatory in public school. I expected that. 72% said disagree, not just in public, in but okay, so mandatory in public, because I know even religious people in Iran do not agree that it should be mandatory. But the first one shocked me, okay? The first one is not saying that should it be mandatory or not mandatory. The first one is like, hey, what do you think about hijab? And 57% of people in Iran are like, screw the hijab. I say no to hijab. Mandatory, voluntarily, hijab is all. I don't like the hijab, right? So the question was, the first question, I believe in the practice of wearing the hijab. 57.5% said disagree. Mm-hmm. Not just the mandatory version of hijab, just hijab as a practice, I didn't expect that. I thought
when you look at it, you see that those who agree with the practice of wearing the hijab are only 22.7%. So even if you look beyond the 57.5% who don't believe in practicing the hijab, there is a huge amount of 19.8% who don't have an opinion on this matter at all. not who believe in it. So 57% openly say, "Hey, I don't believe in the practice of wearing the hijab," whereas only 22% say, "Yes, I believe in wearing the hijab."
Okay, so Ridwan, compare the blue part in the first and the blue part in the second, right? So there's 22% here and 15% here. That means there are 7% of people in Iran who agree with hijab, but think it shouldn't be forced on anybody.
Yeah.
That's what it means, I think, in my opinion. But I was like, it's amazing. Like these are not, again, these are people that just don't like the hijab as a practice as a whole. Because a lot of activism against hijab in Iran is like, hey, hijab, fine. It's like, if you like the hijab, we can keep the hijab, but don't make it mandatory. But the actual opinion is like, you know what? It's not just it's not just the mandatory part of hijab that I don't like. I just don't like hijab.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay. Oh, the hijab part keeps going.
It so much feels like if people didn't have a thing to hold on to, like if people didn't have a reason to believe in Islam because it is part of their society, but many of these people would just be like, hey, you know what? Screw Islam. I'm openly not a Muslim anymore. But people are not openly allowed to say this in Iran. They are this is not a thing that you can discuss in public. You cannot in public say, hey, I find Islam, I don't agree with Islam. I find Islam this and that. I mean, you cannot say many of these things. But if you did give people the opportunity to speak and to choose their own identity, it feels like people would just run. That's what it feels like to me right now.
This is a weird 0.7% people. Okay, so among the people who do not believe in hijab, 97.2% of them said that it should not be mandatory. Okay, so we have some weird people, like less than 1% of the people, like 0.7% of the people who don't believe in hijab, but they think it should be mandatory. So those
are probably trolling.
Yeah, but that, I mean, it's very, very small percentage, but it's there. 0.7%.
Those are probably people who dislike dog videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah. But again, this huge red part is what you would expect, at least for most of the people. But this part is more interesting. The people who do believe in hijab, the people are like, I like hijab. Hijab is good. Okay. Only 51% of them believe that it should be mandatory in public. So only half of the people who like hijab think it should be mandatory. So even among the people, even among the religious people, they do not agree with the government. So only half of the people, and again, this is not just religious people, all religious people, because there are some religious people who don't like the hijab, right? But if you're religious enough to want the hijab, you're still only half of them agree with the government who think that it should be mandated.
To be honest, from my perspective, thinking from the perspective of less, of a country like Turkey, for example, where people have a much less traditionalist religious Muslim attitude. Like in Turkey, most people who agree with wearing the hijab probably would never agree that it should be enforced in public. Whereas people in Iran who are religious and who do believe in the practice of the hijab would rather say, yes, it should be enforced in public. So there is probably a population that is religious, and if they are religious, then they are quite religious, and they do agree with quite religious things. But there is a significant part of the population, even among the religious, and especially outside of those, who don't agree with these practices.
What I know, if you compare it to Turkey, it seems like shocking that half of the people who are religious want the hijab to be forced. But for me, who was used to thinking that most people agree with the government, well, not most people, a lot of people agree with the government. Growing up thinking that most religious people in Iran agree with the government, to me is shocking from that perspective, that even half of the religious people don't agree with the government. So if you compare it with Turkey, it seems like shocking from why there's half of the religious people think it should be mandatory. From my side, it's actually half is so low because I grew up thinking that the anti-government people are the non-religious people. That's what I grew up thinking. But again, if you don't think hijab should be mandatory, then you do not agree with the government.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Turkey is degenerate. Turkey is
my people, my kind of people. Yeah. A lot of people have been calling me a perv in the past 2 weeks. And like, you guys have no idea how the lack of shame that I have for any of this. Like, you keep trying. Okay. Do you consume?
We can make a live stream about that too.
Oh yeah, because I think you're a bit more conservative. I'm like so extremely liberal.
I'm not conservative at all.
I think you get some icky feelings about some sexually. You're not sex positive as much as I am, so I think we could debate that.
As you are, but
you get offended with the WAP song and stuff like that. So we could debate that.
No, not for the sex issues. It's not about the sex part. It's just about the song and the lyrics themselves. And I actually just made a comment about the movie Cuties, and I kind of made a connection there, and I didn't make very clear what I was actually trying to say. What I was trying to say was not that the whole stuff is bad, which is why that directly leads to Cuties. Anyway, that's a completely different issue.
We do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Do you consume alcoholic drinks? Again, so wait, let's see what the reds are. The red is yes. So 40% of men, 32% of the people in Iran do consume alcohol. And again, this is very, very difficult because getting alcohol is illegal in Iran. So this is kind of like consuming illegal drugs and getting it's a lot more expensive because it's illegal. Like you have to know people to get it, right?
Is it legal for religious minorities, like for Christians or so?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's illegal for everybody. But I wonder if the reasoning behind this is like if this number would be higher if people could afford it, right? Because it's so
Can you look at it again quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you consume alcoholic drinks? So
red is yes.
Red is yes, or red is occasionally. Is that what it says?
Yeah, I consume alcoholic drinks occasionally. Oh, yellow is regular basis. So add the red to the yellow.
Okay.
Well, the red should have been next to the yellow. It's weird that they didn't.
So red, 40% of men, 22% of women occasionally drink alcohol. Man.
I mean, to be fair, even religious people drink and then they do the tobe after, and it's all good.
I directly kind of looked at blue as yes, I do drink alcohol because that's the positive thing in my mind. But
oh, you don't like? You think it's bad?
No. I was I was thinking that is the good answer. I do drink alcohol occasionally. It's the good answer, which is why I was looking at the blue as yes, I do. But
blue is no.
I'm just being tricked by my by my biases here.
Yeah. I do think a lot of people who leave Islam get a little bit too extreme with the haram. I mean, go easy with your haram stuff a little bit. You know? Like, I want to eat all the pork and I want to drink all the alcohol and I want to have sex with everybody. Like, everybody. I want to experience every one of you sexually because everything goes, like everything is allowed, nothing is wrong. I'm like, okay, guys, chill. Maybe like there's a healthier way. I mean, I guess a lot of them have to go through that period before they snap out of it.
Well, there is a thing. If you stop believing in a system according to which you have to abide by very strict rules, even if it's not Islam, but especially if it is Islam, especially if there is such a tight thing around you, whatever it's called, then if you get out of that, you are frustrated, you are angered, you are thirsty, and you want to go out there and you want to do all kinds of stuff and you want to let it out, and at some point you
Yeah.
just realize, hey, okay, well, maybe I should calm down now. There is actually a thing on that. Um, there is a thing that Nietzsche said. I'm being a nerd right now, but I've been recently reading Nietzsche. That's why I'm not the guy who constantly references Nietzsche. But what he was saying is that when people stop following religious traditions, they will find themselves in a void of nihilism, in a moral nihilism, where they will start just going wild and uncontrollable. And he saw that as a bad thing. And what he thought is that while that is a bad thing, that is necessary for humans to become better. Like, first you lose the system that you belong to, then you find yourself in complete nihilism and complete chaos, and then from there you start turning things around and establishing a proper system for you that you then functionally live by. And that is, I guess, something that happens. It happened with me too. When I left Islam, I was going crazy because my whole life I was being suppressed, and suddenly I didn't believe in it anymore. And I was like, what the hell, man? Should I now do everything that I couldn't do out there? And I was going everywhere in my mind. But then at some point you gather yourself again and stop, and then you start living functionally again.
Yeah. This is why university. I went to Tehran University, and this is why university is a lot of fun, because there's a lot of girls that you realize that have abandoned religion, and now for the very first time they're mixing boys and girls with each other. Like, so basically we grew up in Iran being separate. Boys schools and girls schools are separate. Elementary school and high school, for 12 years we're just going to school with other boys, okay? And then you go to university and now you're all mixed with each other and you're all horny, and you can see exactly which girls are not religious. And most of the girls who are not religious are frustrated as you are, and are trying to sexually experiment as much as they can now that we're mixed with each other. And that's what made university so much fun. Especially one trick, and you can see, like, if you're not wearing a full-on chador, and you're like showing some of your hair and you're wearing makeup, you're a liberal type, and you know exactly which girls to approach in university, right? And it was so everybody was so available. It was so great. And during Ramadan, for example, the extra naughty, rebellious girls, you could find them easier because there's a secret spot in the university where everybody who wants to eat food goes and eats food, because it's illegal for us to eat food. Okay. Yeah. Publicly, we can't get food. So we have to like smuggle in food and like hide it. And we have to make sure that, like, if you put it in your bag, if it smells, people could be like, oh my God, you have food in your bag. You have illegal. There's illegal. Why do you have food? It's Ramadan. You have to be fasting, right? So you have to hide the food, and you have to actually make sure it doesn't smell as well, right? Imagine going around with food that like it's illegal drugs, right? That's how we deal with food, okay? So
seriously, imagine that. I mean, we're not talking about an authoritarian, a dystopian future where you're trying to hide your, your very dangerous ideas and your dangerous practices and whatever. You're hiding because you want to eat food. That is why you're hiding.
Yeah, so this corner of like, we know the spots that we could go hide from everybody's and eat our food during lunchtime. That's exactly where all the carefree liberal girls would show up as well, and that was the perfect spot for us to like pick up girls, right? By the way,
that's where the degeneracy takes place. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly where the fun degeneracy takes place, right? Proud degenerate right here. But here's the thing: another person that I'm not going to mention who, he's a university professor, and what he did, he had like a huge beard, and he was addicted to coffee. Okay, and you cannot drink coffee. He constantly has coffee in his hand, and he's like drinking it all the time everywhere he goes. But
Wait.
during Ramadan, he can't do that, right? He can't just go around and drink coffee all the time.
Oh, during Ramadan? Okay.
Yeah. So he had this straw going through his beard, like when he's driving. He's driving, like drinking his coffee while he's driving, and he has a straw.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so he's like, and all the restaurants get closed. And one thing that is sad for, again, another person I know that I can mention is that there's one person that constantly like one of his fun in life, great things that got him moving and motivated in life was swimming, right? But you know that if you're fasting, you can't have your head underwater.
Yeah,
that breaks your fast.
Yeah, it depends on the mazhab actually in Sunni Islam.
So all this pools close during Ramadan. Every single swimming pool closes, so you can't go swimming anymore because that will break your fast. Man. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you have to get away with swimming and eating food, or they will get you. The authorities will catch you eating food.
I mean, this is how you get non-Muslims, by the way. God, this is how you get non-Muslims. You tell people that they cannot have sex, that they cannot eat food during Ramadan. That, you know, one thing that I grew up with in Iran, every single morning, whether it was cold, freezing cold outside, or if it was hot as hell, you had to, before going to class, elementary school, high school, you have to wait outside while some idiot reads the Quran, and none of us have any freaking clue. I'm trying not to swear for your channel, okay? None of us have any freaking clue what is being said. It's being said in Arabic. None of us speak Arabic, and we have to sit there listening to the Quranic verse to be over until we could go inside, right? And imagine you being trained for 12 years that when the Quranic reading finishes, you could finally take refuge from the heat or the cold. What does that do to kids' mind growing every single day, growing up with that?
It makes them resentful against what you are delivering, which is Islam. It makes people resentful against the sound of the Quran. It makes people resentful about that Islamic authority, which keeps you from going into that refreshing area. That is basic psychology, man.
Yeah. So as much as the Islamic Republic of Iran tried to brainwash children to be more Islamic, they did the exact opposite. They did the exact opposite. They made people hate Islam with more passion, sometimes with as extreme as I am when it comes to being anti-religious. A lot of these people in Iran, they go farther than even I'm comfortable with. Right? I mean, their hatred with Islam. I mean, even if you find a lot of these like far right people in the United States, if they see what the people say about Islam in Iran, they will be like, okay, guys, chill. You're going too far with your anti-Islam views. That's how, like, man, I used to listen. There was these protests, and I was listening to the reports coming from the ground in Iran, and there was this girl that called into the radio show. And she was like, I'm gonna go into protest, and I have a knife, and I'm just gonna go stab him. I'm gonna go stab him. Like, what the hell is happening here? Like, she's like, I'm so excited. I'm gonna go find the mullah, and I'm gonna stab him. I'm like, oh my god! Like, look at what you have done to these young people. They're look what you're making them. You know, again, that's something that we're trying not to endorse. Not trying to. We don't endorse. We are actively fighting against that overcorrection. But again, I'm not justifying it, but this is what they're getting. This is how frustrated people in Iran are. Again, and that's not the majority. Let me not misrepresent people, but we have people like that think like that. So many people.
Even in Turkey, I look at Turkish communities. Ever since recently, I've started going into a little bit talking to Turks and talking in Turkish too, and I see that there are a lot of people in this secular country called Turkey who are so sick of the religious environment and of their their religious elders and religious things in school and in the neighborhood, whatever, who are just sick of these religious sentiments, who become very extreme in their stances. I mean, if those people, there are many of them in Turkey who are very hostile, very aggressive about Islam or about religion, but mostly about Islam. If they were in the West, if you heard them in the West, you would think, wow, this is unacceptable, man. This is not acceptable to any of us. It's not acceptable to me or to Armin, to any of us. You cannot be like that. But there are people in these even in secular Muslim countries who are so frustrated, so outraged, so angered by this imposing of Islamic attitudes, of this imposing of Islamic rules. And now go to Iran and imagine that you have an Islamic government, an Islamist government, which imposes Islam on your daily life everywhere, from early childhood, in your teenage years, where you want to be wild, but the Islamic recitations and prayers and rituals keep you from living your life, and keep you from getting your basic needs, keep you from being in a proper, cool, fresh area, keep you outside and under the sun. If you go through that, you just end up with a whole generation that hates what was imposed on them. It's very natural. That's what happens.
Let me show you this video. This is on national TV in Iran. Okay, so
دارم رانندگی میکنم یه لحظه ممکنه حواسم نباشه سر یه پیچ راهنما رو دیر بزنم.
I will translate. Okay.
ماشینم به پشتریم یهو میگه هوی مثلا. این هوی گفتنش فقط به خاطر دیر راهنما زدن من نیست. از دور عمامه منه که میبینه یهو معطلیش تو فلان اداره، رشوه فلان قاضی تو فلان دادگاه، فلانجا پدرش در اومده، بچهش بیکاره، فلان چیز شده، انقدر تومن، همش جمع میشه رو هم دیگه. هنرپیشه آمریکایی میاد کتاب مقدس انجیل میگیره دستش میخونه هیچ چیزی نمیکنه. ولی اینجا کافیه بازیگر.
He first said that right now the situation in Iran, again, this is national TV in Iran, okay? And this is Mullah saying that, when I go driving in the traffic and somebody is driving and all of a sudden maybe I come in the path, and as soon as they see I'm a mullah, they start yelling at me. They're way more aggressive towards me because they see the thing around my head, and they see like they all of a sudden they find this opportunity to unleash all their frustrations with the authority and the government and all of that. Every time they see me, they try, people are more aggressive against me than other people because of all the frustration that people have with the government. So again, the mullahs themselves are experiencing this, and this is being played on national TV in Iran. There were even some mullahs that after the protest, they were taking off their amamet, the thing that they have around their head, because they were scared. Like they were so intimidated by people being so anti mullah that they thought like it would be better in their safety. It would be best for them not to go out with that on their head, right? People are. Again, and even let me give you a story that my mom told me, and this is years ago, and things have gotten so much worse since then, right? My mom, when she was at the bank, there was this woman in full veil, full Islamic chador, right? And she was at the bank in Shehran, which is Upper Tehran, and she was trying to get the tellers, the bank staff, to listen to her, and she was going from one teller to another one. And she was just asking questions and nobody was answering her. And then my mom just grabbed her hand and she went to the teller and like told the person, the staff, the bank staff, can you please answer her question? And they finally answered her and they're like, here you go, like very rudely told her to go. And then she left and my mom was like, why are you treating her like that? And the bank staff were like, these are the people that run our country. And like they started forgetting, like they like started swearing at like the lady because she was in full veil. Like she was getting worse treatment because they thought her as a more religious person. They were trying to and this is the attitude that, again, I don't think this is good. I don't think that's justified, right? But let me play the rest of the video. But I'm just saying these are the attitudes that people have, right?
سینما از قرآن کریم که کتاب مسلماناست یه تیکه بردارم ترجمه‌شو بخونه یه ذره میگم توضیح بخوام بدم بیشتر فهمیدین نظرم چیه توضیح بخوام بدم ذره درسم میشه.
So he also mentioned an example of the people of what happens to celebrities in Iran. He's like, in America, if a celebrity goes and reads the Bible on his social media, there's not that much of a backlash, right? Like, for example, let's say one of the Hollywood celebrities goes and like, oh, this is my favorite Bible verse. That's not like a dramatic thing that people are like, oh my God, take your Bible away, like, screw you, why are you sharing this with us? But he says here in Iran, as soon as one of our celebrities mentions like a favorite verse they have in the Quran or something like that, they share it on Instagram, the Iranian population, they just unleash on them hate and like, screw you, take your Quran away, we don't like this, oh, I used to respect you, I didn't know you like the Quran. Like he's saying this is the experience that we have right now with the Iranian population. So even the mullahs are admitting they're noticing, they're saying that this is exactly what's happening in the population. So again, that's so I mean, this is them admitting the shift in attitude against Islam.
That's
in
awesome.
Iran.
That's I mean, I don't want to say that's awesome. I don't know what to say in response to this. It's kind of, I don't know how to react to this. It's just I mean, it's kind of sad. It is you know, a strange thing that it comes to this, that it happens this way, but it's surprising and it's interesting to see that the population actually reacts with anger and with frustration to their religious authorities, which seemingly have a lot of power or used to have a lot of power.
And this guy Montazeri, which is a very important, very significant religious figure in Iran, there's a recording of him that they play here where he simply says that when Iranian people abandon religion, we are to blame. It's us, the religious authorities. It was our doing. That's him admitting this many years ago, and he's saying that this will happen, and we are the only ones to blame for this. So this is a recording of him playing this.
Well, it is very short-sighted to impose religion on people. As said, I mean, that's what we talked about for much of this time. I mean, if there are some people who have some insight into history, into some basic logic, into how people think and how people act, it is not very hard to come to the conclusion that if you treat society like this, they will not react kindly, and some people actually get it.
Yeah. All right.
There was a thing. I went to Iraq twice, and one of the places that I went to was Najaf, which is you probably know it's a very religious place.
Second to only to Qom for being the center of Shia authority.
Yeah, of Shia Muslims.
Shia scholarship and school of thought. Yeah.
I went to the first time that I went to Iraq, I went to the north, which is to the Kurdish area, and that was such a secular, such a exceptionally modern thinking place, like even more so than Turkey. I was very surprised. And then the second time I went to the south to Najaf and arrived in this high stronghold of Shia Islam. And I found it so strange because I had never seen something like that in my life. It's I believe that is probably also common in Iran, or was common in Iran. But when I arrived at the airport, you know, everyone who has traveled from country to country or who has used these lines knows, like, if you arrive in the country, you have to first go through a passport control. And it's sometimes it's an agony. Sometimes you get quickly through it. Everyone is equal. Everyone is waiting in line. But when I arrived there in Najaf, it was so strange. I was in line waiting with my colleague. We are together there, where there's a huge line. So many people are waiting, and then what happens is that someone behind us says something quite loudly in their language, and then everyone suddenly steps aside, kind of hesitantly and unwillingly. Everyone steps aside, and then there is a thing. This Shia guy with his with his whole clothes and his head thing. Is walking in such an arrogant manner, in such an arrogant posture, is walking through that line, going to the front. The officer immediately looks at his passport and without much hesitation, he just stamps it and says, "Here, please go ahead." And the guy quickly goes and is through it. Everyone else goes back in line again and waits for their.
What the hell?
I saw that and I was like, man, it's obvious. I know Islam. I know Islamic society. I mean, it's not surprising actually that something like this exists, or to see something like this. But I just felt so weird because I had never seen something like this, because I lived in secular environments, secular countries, in countries where you don't have some higher status just because you are a religious authority, not even because you are a political authority. But then there is this guy who is a religious leader, and he just wears these things, and that already gives him the authority to skip the line, and everyone has to step aside. If they don't step aside, they're in trouble, because
in Iran is becoming is getting the opposite though. In Iran is becoming the opposite. In Iran is like,
ask you, like,
but I'm actually worried a little bit, because I think if there is there's a lot of polls out there on Twitter, people asking what should we do with the mullahs, and the least aggressive ones are mandatory labor for all mullahs, for them to like the highest ones are like, well, no, we should kill them because they have, and kill their children as well because they have bad seed. Like, oh my god, and they get a lot of gets a lot of votes. And they say they're traitors to their country. They're like these, especially they're not even Persian, because they betrayed Iran to this inferior Arab culture, and they destroyed Iran. So they're like, no, you have to wipe them out. Again, that's extremely worrying. But even the least aggressive ones are like, oh, and let's kill them because they could be productive. They stole from Iran, so we have to put them in forced labor so they could pay back all this, so they could pay back everything they took. And like, guys, we can't have like concentration camps and mandatory labor for mullahs. I don't think we want to go there, guys. Like, but those are the solutions that are being offered right now. So I'm worried.
Is there a thing in Iran, by the way, quick unrelated question, just because such a thing exists in many in many similar countries, but is there a law in Iran? I assume there is a law on public display of affection, that you are not supposed to, even if you are married, you're not supposed to show any skin contact to your spouse in public, right?
Yeah, when you go walk and you're holding your girlfriend's hand, as soon as you always you're holding hands in public because you really want to do it. It's legal, but and again, it depends on the political mood at the time. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes there's more crackdown, and sometimes there's less. But again, you don't want to be told by, especially people with more of a rebellious nature, they don't want to be told how to live and what to do. So they go out with their girlfriends or their boyfriends and they're holding hands in public. But when you're holding hands, you're always like, I mean, at least when I was there, I remember like constantly looking for cop cars. And as soon as you see a cop car, you're just like, let go hand, and then you hold that, and then when you go, you hold that hand again. But sometimes you get in trouble. You have to be unlucky sometimes. I got arrested one time. I got arrested for having for being in a car with a girl. And I was driving in the car. They stopped me, and the cop told me like, "Is she your sister?" And I'm like, "Nope." And the cop said, "Is she your cousin?" I was like, "Nope." And like, "Is she related to you in any way? Are you family?" I was like, "Nope." I'm like, "Then you're arrested." I'm like, "What?" You're arrested. You're coming with us. I'm like, "No." I didn't know this actually happens to people. Like, so I got arrested that day.
Man.
But actually, do you want to know the rest of that story? Because it gets worse. It gets actually.
Go ahead. I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
So I can't believe I didn't tell you this already. So they took me to the police station, and this guy keeps lecturing me. Okay, he keeps on, and I'm like in my teenage rebellious mode, and this guy keeps telling me like, this is not good. You have to be a good Muslim boy. This is un-Islamic. Why are you doing this? Blah 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 blah. These are the rules of Islam. Blah, blah. Yeah, he keeps on like old man telling me about the rules of Islam, and then I get so tired at some point. I like, you know what? None of these rules, and I like don't yell, very calmly say, none of these rules that you're telling me, they don't apply to me. And he was like, "What the hell? What do you mean?" I was like, "They don't apply to me. They might apply to you. They don't apply to me." And he was like, "Why don't they apply to you?" I was like, "Because I'm not a Muslim." He's like, "What do you mean you're not a Muslim?" I was like, "I left Islam, so they're your rules. They're not my rules." And then he just sat there. He just started looking at me like I'm insane. And then after a few seconds of silence, he just said, "Listen to me, you piece of shit. You idiot. Young kid, I could destroy your life right now with my pen. do you have any idea what you could get yourself into if you tell anyone else that? He said, do not tell that to anyone ever again. I could ruin you right now. And he genuinely scared me. And I think he saved my life, because I think he was a, asshole enough to actually arrest me for just being in a car with a girl. But I think he wasn't going as far as like, let me get this kid killed, right? He genuinely went from all of a sudden shifting from lecturing me to being concerned about my safety, right? When my mom came to like bail me out and all, she told my mom, like, lady, I need to talk to you privately. And she told I don't know, they went somewhere else. And my mom, and when I was waiting for, I think he told my mom that your kid is crazy and your kid is going to get killed if you don't shut him up somehow, right? And I was in the car, and he didn't tell her what I said. He said, like, just control your kid, lady. So when I was waiting in the car for my mom, and my mom came to drive me home, she said, what did you say? I'm like, just go home. I don't want to talk about it. But I think he scared me enough because I was too rebellious as a teenager. I think he managed to scare me enough for me not to be that open about my atheism to maybe to stay alive. So that guy might have stayed. Maybe it was a good thing that I was arrested that day.
You say that. How old were you? When was that?
This was, I think, 19. If I'm like 19, 20, 29. Yeah.
Oh man.
Rough admission.
I feel sorry, man. I'm seriously I'm sorry that you went through that. I genuinely feel sorry that you actually went you risked your life. I mean,
yeah, no, man, I was too the things like I remember in Tehran University, right? I was too outspoken. Okay, I was so frustrated because, like, dude, we're in university. Why are we still learning Islam? Okay, why are we still learning Arabic? Why are we still reading the Quran? That was high school. I'm in university. I need to learn some useful stuff here. Okay, why are they saying the Islamic electives were mandatory? Like, how is this an elective if I can't opt out? Why is this even called an elective? So, but I remember in Tehran University, the professor was teaching us about the miracle of Quran and how Quran is a miracle and how beautiful it is and how nobody could produce a work like it, right? And I raised my hand and asked a question. I was like, I don't find the Quran beautiful. So how does that work? Like, the miracle is supposed to be that the Quran is extremely beautiful and nobody could deny it. And I'm like, well, I'm denying it because I don't find it beautiful. And I remember the entire classroom just turned around like, what the hell? What was this guy saying? It's like, I actually was I was too big. I guess nothing has changed, but I was, I liked the fact that I was being this rebellious in front of all these kids being shocked. Oh, how could you say this? This kid is crazy, right? But I was like, yeah, man, yeah, come at me. Like, I don't find this beautiful.
It gives you a great feeling, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
it feels so sweet inside.
But I remember the professor didn't like call the cops or anything on me. He just, I appreciate that professor because he thought about it. I mean, he gave me a bullshit answer, to be fair, but at least he wasn't like, how dare you say this? Like, because I remember being kicked out of class a couple of times for asking questions like this in high school, right? But this professor just like said that, and he thought about it, and he was like, well, you have to listen. Maybe it's because you're not listening to it with your heart. Like, there's a different ear, there's a spiritual ear that you have to tap into, and that's why you're missing out on the beauty of the Quran. I mean, that was a nonsense answer, but it's way better than I was still grateful for the fact that he wasn't like went out full on his Sharia on my ass.
Yeah. It's so strange. I mean, I have to admit, I was in Turkey in my high school years and afterwards, and we are similar in a way. I was I was in an environment where I had completely unacceptable opinions and beliefs to the public. Opinions that are politically outrageous to the public. That did get me in serious trouble several times. Like I got beaten up without resisting because I thought, okay, if I resist, then I'm bad too. I got lectured, threatened by teachers so often. I said stuff about there was mainly regarding politics, and I was there, and I stood up and spoke against their values so openly and so rebelliously, and with that sweet feeling of resisting, of saying something that is unacceptable to them because you just think it is true. And I thought, and later I said things in response to religious environments, and I thought this was something. But I was in Turkey. I was in secular Turkey. And you were in Iran. You were in the Islamic Republic of Iran, where blasphemy and apostasy are punishable by death. And where I don't know.
But that's a more reason to feel good, because again, this is why I kind of understand, but don't excuse a lot of the lashback of the frustration of constantly having this big brother kind of thing right above your head all the freaking time, and the fact that you are always told that you can't do this, you can't say that. You wanna rebel in any way that you could possibly get, because you want to take control of your own freedom. It feels like living in a cage that you feel like you don't even have room to move with your ideas. I remember years before I was in university, when I was still in high school, I found this letter of this person outside of Iran, writing an open letter against Khamenei. And even as an atheist at that time, I was like, whoa, this person has balls. Even though the person was outside of Iran, because going after Khamenei for me was like much more, like the risk to that was way worse than even going after Muhammad himself, right? So it's the level of hierarchy is supposed to be Allah is the highest, and then Muhammad, and then maybe Ali, and then Hussein, and then way, way, way down Khamenei. But it's exactly the opposite of what they admitted to be. Khamenei is the most holiest thing that you cannot criticize, and Hussein is the most important religious figure above Ali, and Ali is more important than Muhammad, and Muhammad is more important than Allah when it comes to how passionate people are about these figures. They would never admit it. They will always say that it's the opposite, but in practice, that's how it is. Hussein is more important to Shias than Muhammad. Okay, they would not say that, but that's how it is, right? But seeing somebody openly criticize Khamenei, and me being so intrigued by somebody being so openly rebellious, I wanted to, I printed that letter, and I hold it in my hands. Like I was like, I'm holding something illegal in my hand. This letter that is criticizing Khamenei should not exist, right? And I was like fascinated that I'm holding this in my hand. I'm not supposed to have this. I was so fascinated. Me being discovered with this letter, it will be punishable by death. And I own this, right? I have this. And you know what I did with it? I put it in my backpack, and I went outside just walking with it. And my heart beat, like just knowing that I was just constantly thinking about it. So I was like, I have this letter. If these people knew around me that I have this in my bag, an open letter against Khamenei that is critical of him, if they just knew that I have this in my, and I was just walking with it like these soldiers, if they say stop and they just searched me right now, it would be the end of me. And I was like, they don't know, they can't touch me right now because they don't know what I have. And I was just walking around with it, and at some point I just ran home, took down the letter, started tearing it into small little pieces, put it in the toilet, and started flushing it. It wouldn't flush out. Took it out again, smaller pieces, flush it out. Like, I need to get rid of this evidence. Like, I tried to like flush every single piece of it out, right? And I tried to like cut it in a way so that all the letters were completely being mushed, so that maybe if somebody somehow at the other end discovers this letter, like, oh my god, like something like they can't read it. I just want to make sure nobody could even. I was like wondering who. I don't know if this gets flushed, where it's going to end up. Maybe somebody is going to find it and they're going to track it back to me. So I was like, I need to come. I was thinking about it. But this is why many years later, when I left Iran, when I was watching the news, and I was seeing that people publicly, openly burning the pictures of Khamenei, I was like, I could not believe how things are changing so fast in Iran.
There's so much
Like,
change, right? You see that happening. Right?
yeah, like again, 10 years ago, nobody would have dreamt
Mhm.
burning the image of Khamenei in public, outside. Like how, like I'm like, wow, you guys are braver than I ever was. How are you doing this? So again, think about it. Me not being so scared of having that letter, knowing that nobody could see it, still being so scared of having it in public, and now we're saying people openly recording videos of posters of Khamenei being burned in broad daylight. So yeah, I know things change. Things have changed. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, this regime, I don't know when, man, but it cannot hold like this. It cannot hold like you're an Islamic theocracy ruling over a Muslim minority country. You're an Islamic theocracy ruling over a Muslim minority country. How long can you survive this?
So let us bring this out again. I can show it. I can show it right here, but let us bring this out once again. This is what we are seeing.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like, everybody. Oh, now I can. I was supposed to. What am I doing? Sorry. So why can I not zoom in here? Okay.
There
Here.
we go.
So this is the survey. Iran's attitudes toward religion, a 2020 survey report. And this is a summary of 39,900 people of their self-identified beliefs. You would normally think that a country like Iran would be a vast majority Shia Muslim. But you see here, Shiite Muslim, 32.2%. You see down here, Sunni Muslim, 5%. And you see here, mystical Sufi Muslim, which is normally included in Sunni or Shia Muslim, 3.2%. And that's it. You see, other than that, atheist, 8.8, agnostic, 5.8, spiritual, 7.1, non, 22. Such few, not more than 40%, if you calculate it, if you put it together, are Muslim by their own identification. This is huge for a country like Iran.
As an atheist, I also want to point out that 8.8% of people not just being atheists, but actually identifying themselves as an atheist is huge as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So like we have 20% of the people there not believing in God. So around 20% are actually atheists, but around half of them label themselves as an atheist. So I'm actually very impressed with that.
This is amazing. I'm so happy. I feel almost as happy as I felt when I was ripping apart the Quran. It's almost the same feeling of relief going through my body right now.
The whole trend of desecrating and burning the Quran came out of Iran, anyways, right?
Did it?
That's where burning the Quran, the challenge, the trending, and the hashtag. It started from within Iran. That those are the people that were trying to make this a trend. Again, imagine us burning the Quran and getting all the backlash. Imagine being in Iran and wanting to burn the Quran and making it trend from within Iran. Like we don't get me and you. We don't get to complain about the backlash when other people have to deal with the backlash from an Islamic theocracy. They are burning the Quran, knowing the risks associated with burning the Quran, when it's punishable by death to burn the Quran. Okay,
it's insane.
So,
but the change that we're going through. I mean, we have talked about Iran now forever, and it's the change that is happening in Iran is significant. It is huge. It is major. And it is happening in Iran because Iran has an oppressive Islamic regime that is imposing something on people which they progressively will not want anymore, simply because it is imposed on them. That's how it works. But there is a general trend in the world regarding Islam and how Islam reacts to criticism. We have seen so many studies in recent times of North Africa, Middle East, Turkey, so many other places where people are increasingly losing faith and increasingly identifying with non-religious.
25% of second-generation Muslims in the United States, according to Pew, have left Islam.
Yeah, that too. But think about this. We talk about burning and ripping apart the Quran. You did it. You made a video in which you ripped up you spit on the Quran and you ripped it up. I made a video in which I ripped up the Quran. It got 1.5 million views because it went viral in Indonesia. But David Wood ripped up the Quran and ate it.
He didn't eat it. He spit it out. I'm the only one who ate it.
But later he did it again and he ate it.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, we are doing these things today in 2020, and this is just causing some minor outrage. That's what happens. A minor outrage. Can you compare this to 20 years ago? If we did this the same thing 20 years ago, it would have caused a much bigger outcry. It would have caused condemnations. It would have caused chaos, burnings, and all kinds of stuff. But people have gotten used to this. People don't have such energetic reactions anymore from Islamic circles to our criticism and our protests. Something is changing, and it's good.
Right. By the way, since David would also ate it, so we have to acknowledge that we didn't just eat the Quran. If we eat the Quran, we also shout out the Quran. So that's also just want to be careful. And by the way, another thing I want to mention is that I'm having a new policy right now. Let me know what you think about it. Every time before desecrating a Quran, because I have a Muslim audience, I want to also make sure that they can control what they're exposed to, right? I'm doing a trigger alert to Muslims watching so they could look away. That's my new strategy, okay? So I'm going to display how it works, okay? I'm just trying to be very mindful, okay? So Muslims, I'm going to show it so other people, if they want to use my model, they could do it. So I'd like, hey, if any Muslims watching, I'm going to desecrate the Quran right now. This is the Quran. So I'll let you know exactly when it's over, okay? So I'm going to start right now. Trigger warning.
Wait.
Look away.
Wait.
Trigger warning. What's
Wait.
happening? What are you doing? I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Here. Trigger
warning. Trigger warning. Yes, good. Trigger warning. Okay, look away. I'll let you know when it's over and when it's safe, okay? So it's starting right now. Last chance to look away, okay? This is.
Wait. We have to do it again.
Again?
Yeah, because I have to put you on full screen. You have to.
No, it's okay. I like to have you next to me. No, it's fine. It's fine. And now I'm going to tell you that it's over. Okay. No more Quran desecration. Okay. So
fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted.
No, I like to have you next to me when I do these things. Okay. So again, it's safe. I promise that it's safe. I'm not going to do it again. I think that's better. Yeah.
Thank you, Armin. Thank you for bringing such value to this stream. Thank you for bringing this again to our fantastic night tonight. Thank you for doing this again. Thank you for letting everyone observe this beautiful presentation.
Can I mention something about us winning the demographic battle?
Yeah.
I know you wanted to keep this under 2 hours, so I'm going to finish it.
I have my thing.
Do not desecrate. I told people there's no desecration. You have to give another trigger. Or what?
I'm not doing it. I'm just saying. I have my thing here. My whole my Quran pieces are all in here. I've collected them like this.
Right.
And, that's because I currently do not know what I want to do with these yet. Sorry for being very loud. I just got very close to the camera.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know what to do with those.
Do ASMR. Just touch them.
I don't know. What
not right now with the paper. You could have
okay.
Quran pieces.
I could do.
That is pleasing to listen to.
Very pleasurable.
Is that desecration though? You shouldn't desecrate. No, it's not.
Oh, I should put it. Wait.
Okay, trigger warning. Okay.
Trigger warning, Quran ASMR, whatever. Come on. Okay. Just Quran ASMR. I'm rubbing it on that.
Oof, that does sound nice.
I'm rubbing it on that.
It is.
By the way, for all those who feel like, why are you doing this again, AP? Why are you doing this? There are more reasonable things to do than to disrespect the religious scripture. Let me tell you something. The entire reason why I did this in the first place was to point out that popular, famous religious Muslim apologists went out there saying that I, by name and association, all other apostates should be executed in their ideal world. That they said that in public and that nothing happened about it, and that Muslims didn't disagree with it, that there was no big outrage about it at all, but people were outraged about the fact that David Wood desecrated the Quran. That's the entire reason why I did this. The entire reason why I would.
How come nobody look? This is an empty piece of paper. Okay,
Yeah.
The whole point of doing this is to get your reaction from people like, "Oh, Armin, why are you doing this?" and show people that you're not gonna ask me the same thing when I do this with an empty piece of paper, right?
How dare you do this?
So that the people who ask me, "Oh my God, why are you doing this?" Your reaction is making the point for us. That's
How
all.
dare you rip a piece of paper? How dare you do that?
Wait, can I tell you about the? Oh, what is that?
This is the manual of my T7 wired gaming mouse. I use gaming mouses to because I like how comfortable they feel in my hand. So I'm going to desecrate this manual of my gaming mouse.
Wait, trigger warning for? Do we need trigger warning for that? Anybody that really likes their gaming mouses? No.
I don't want to type it out right now. This is you see this? It says T7 wired gaming
Oh
mouse.
shit! No. Oh my God! I do. Who's offended? Somebody.
Get this. Okay.
All right. I do want to mention though. The we're winning the demographic fight, right?
Wait,
But
you want to see this? Yeah, I'm ripping apart. See, trident gum. I'm ripping apart this. Trident gum. See?
I want to see who's offended by this. By the
It's
way,
worse. Is this worse or?
at least the gum religion people. Gum.
Okay, let's go ahead.
All right. I do have to make this point because this is very important.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
because we are winning the demographic battle. Okay, but we're losing the political battle. We're losing the political battle. Islam, more people are leaving Islam in Indonesia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Iran, Turkey, United States. People are abandoning the religion. And we are winning that game. We're winning that game, but we're losing. But in Indonesia, in Egypt, in Iran, the religious authority are gaining more and more control. Okay, in Tunisia, okay, in Tunisia actually there's very good resistance. Okay, in some places in Nigeria, okay, there are some places that the pushback is good, right? And it's going in the other direction. But in most places, actually, there's some, but in most places we're losing the political game, and this is because a lot of the people who, when they leave Islam themselves, they don't understand the value of us getting politically active. It's good that we have all these YouTube videos and all these books showing embarrassing Islam and showing how ridiculous of an ideology it is, and more people coming to, but these people, the religious authorities, they only need a very few group of people for them to be able to use religion as a weapon to make people's lives more miserable. And as much as the demographic battle is important, it's important for us to mobilize all these new people and get political with it and remove these people from the position of power. So don't let people say like, "Oh, why are you becoming political? I thought like religious people do that. I didn't know atheism is going to be political. This is like, you guys are looking more and more like religious people. Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you like endorsing that? Why are you doing like protests? Oh, I didn't know. Why are you making communities? If I wanted communities, I would go back to a church or a mosque or something like that." This is how these religious communities, they manage to monopolize politics and community and charity and anything with very group of people, because your disgust with religion makes you think that anything that you associate with that, we have to abandon, right? There are many things that really doesn't belong to religion. Okay, they have ruined it. Charity doesn't belong to religion. Community doesn't belong to religion. Politics doesn't belong to religion. And you washing your hands off of all these things makes it easier for them to completely dominate those things. without any pushback, with the few numbers that they have. We need to mobilize all of these new numbers of the ex-Muslims and the atheists that we're getting. We need to mobilize them for them to become politically active and actually challenge Islam, not just intellectually, but politically.
Exactly. I agree. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I wanted to add something to the whole discussion, though. I wanted to ask this earlier. I don't know if we have much time, but what do you think we can say to this in a quick response? Now, Islam Critiqued, who is another YouTuber who talks about Islam, analyzes Islam, makes very good videos, by the way. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Islam Critiqued, please go and subscribe to Islam Critiqued. Said, will this de-Islamization, Islamicization of Iran ever filter up to the Islamic leaders? Or does the regime have too tight a grip to topple without a revolution? So if we just don't go too long into this, but what do you think? Do you think eventually the government will have to change in a peaceful, political, diplomatic way? Or do you think it will eventually lead to the undesirable?
That simple question has been a topic of debate in our Persian show for hours and hours and hours. And what I could tell you, if the question is what the opinion, so there's two ways to answer this. The opinion of the people, most of the people that are anti-Islamic, is that there is no hope for this government. Then this government needs to topple. And what they're saying, and I agree with this, is that this whole reform argument has been it's been a trick. It's been a hope given to the people just so that this government keeps maintaining power. So it's not just like the word reforming and slow, the idea of slow progress has now been considered a disgusting. People consider it's a taboo now to be used among the people that are not in line with the government. If you go suggest to them any form of reform, they will hate you as much as the government itself, right? They are, again, one of the most famous chants during the recent protests was Islah talab usul gera dige tamum majara, which means whether you're reformist or fundamentalist, we don't care. All of you have to go away. Your time is up. Your time is up, right? So given in the past 40 years, the hope of reform has been fed to the people. Every time they dangled to them like a reformist president to be like, hey, look, things are going to change. Things are going to improve. And people realized that the voting for these reformist presidents was a misplaced trust that they had. And they've given up on all of that. They're like, nothing short of toppling this government fully is acceptable. So that is the opinion on the ground. Whether that is possible, it's such a complicated question. And anybody that gives you a clear answer to that has no idea what they're talking about.
I almost didn't want to ask you the question because I thought any response that you give might be just too problematic.
No, but I'm just saying that you have to be the people. It usually works the opposite with people. People usually somebody that says this is what's going to happen. This is clear. This is the answer. This is what's going to happen in the future. I'm so sure of it. People are like, ooh, I trust that guy. That guy knows what he's talking about. But then the person that comes and says like, well, there's so many external factors and we need to consider this and this might happen and this might happen and this is likely, but it's not 100%. Like that guy doesn't seem so sure. I don't trust that guy. Like, but it should be the opposite. The second guy, that should be the guy you should trust. The people that predict the future with so much certainty, you should be very, very you should not trust those people, okay? Because there's so many things. Okay, but personally, again, not my opinion, I can't be certain about anything. It's just hard for me to imagine how this government could keep its grip on people, okay? First of all, this government, and it's also hard for me to imagine this government ever being un-Islamic, okay? It might here and there be like, do what Saudi Arabia is doing, like, oh, women can drive. So they might be like, oh, let's make hijab less mandatory. But again, people in Iran will resent that. People in Iran will be like, you're throwing you know, like imagine having like somebody that tortures you every day for hours and doesn't feed you, doesn't let you drink water, but then goes from like, okay, I'm going to keep torturing every day, but now you get to drink water. Here's a glass of water. Am I so nice to you? Am I not so nice to you? I'm giving you. And people are like, oh, if they like give away like here, like, oh, women could go watch sports now. They're like, that's a trick. We're not gonna fall for that. You guys have to go. You have to go, right? Women, like, if you make hijab less mandatory, if you let us go watch sports, no. You guys just get out of here. I mean, the fundamentals of this government, the entire authority in this government is based on Islam. It's in the Constitution. It's a pillar that everything is standing on. There's no way to remove that. There's no reason that I could imagine that I could be wrong. Okay, but I'm not on this one. I don't think I am. Okay, it's like, I don't think so. Okay, I'm fallible, so I don't know what. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's no way I could imagine that this government could wash its hands off of Islam, and you can't have Islam ruling over these people, especially given that most of them are not even Muslim, right? so again, I can't imagine. I don't know when, but if I was a betting man, I would bet for this government to fall within my lifetime. I might be wrong about that, okay? But that would be amazing.
Very soon. Hopefully, before we find life on a different planet, we can find life in the Islamic in the Iranian government.
I think it's safe to say, and again, I could be wrong, I'm not sure, but I feel I would bet money on this government falling within my lifetime.
I hope you bet money. All right. I appreciate your answer. What are you saying?
I said money that I don't have because I spent everything I own on keeping Atheist Republic alive.
Oh, people support Atheist Republic. By the way, Armin Navabi is my guest here. I think I should have plugged his channel right down in the description. I may plug it again in the pinned comments, but you can find him on Atheist Republic, which is a YouTube channel that has been active for quite a while. And he's Atheist Republic is live, I believe, almost every day, or even multiple times every day, sometimes.
Every day except today, because I was here, and I'm also gonna go treat myself today. But usually, almost every day, I go live either once or twice a day.
So if you want to see more of Armin Navabi and want to listen to him, go down and go into the description, go on the link, subscribe to Atheist Republic, watch his stuff. It's awesome. They have nice opinions, nice things to say.
Yes, and we do reviews of Apostate Prophets videos.
They do.
We're gonna do more of that, by the way, going forward.
Awesome. Thank you. But I keep touching my hair today. It's just
so if you ever watch an Apostate Prophet video that is only 10 minutes long, and you're like, damn, I wish I had some people that I could watch this. Like, it was such a good video of a Apostate Prophet. I want to like spend like 50 minutes watching it with other people and commenting on it. It's too, then you could come on Atheist Republic and we'll do like a review of one of his videos and talk about it.
That's actually an awesome idea. That's a great idea. I completely support that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I totally support that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will be there too.
Yeah, you sometimes show up. You sometimes like every time you show up. Like every time one of you guys show up, I like get so excited. I like, oh my god, look at we have celebrity in the live chat. Apparently, Abdullah Samir hates that. So every time now Abdullah Samir, when he shows up in the live chat, we're like, guys, Abdullah Samir is here, but they keep putting down low. We can't like not too much attention on Abdullah Samir. Like you're like, why you don't give me so much attention? Pay attention to other people. Like okay.
Yeah.
He's very he's sweet.
Yeah. Shy guy.
Yeah, shy guy.
All right. I want to read some chats here. Khan said in Turkish. I want to read that quickly. He said in Turkish, Ridvan, please advertise Turkey more. We are trying to be democratic. Maybe we are not very successful, but compared to the Middle East, we are pretty good.
Yes, you are.
I want to say Turkey has been doing an okay job. In the recent 2 decades, Turkey has turned very much toward an Islamization of the government, but that is very much a result of Turkey suppressing religious sentiments for a very long time, and now those religious sentiments just creep up and start resurfacing and start becoming part of the government. The good side of all of this is that we see in many contemporary studies that people in Turkey, as a result of the government being so Islamist and being so imposing Islamic values on society, young people turn away from Islam more and more. And so many young people don't like Islam, are against Islam, explore different things. It's just in the last 5 years, so much has changed among the youth of Turkey. So many people in Turkey express that they don't like Islam anymore, that they don't like religion anymore, that they don't like practicing Islam, that they are not interested in an Islamic future. So although Turkey is currently going in into a strange direction of an Islamization of the government, this will have very bad consequences for Islam in the near future, because the generation that is currently suffering from that will make a very good U-turn and will go toward more secularization. So Turkey struggling.
Would you say Turkey is an example of us winning the demographic game and losing the political game?
Winning one, losing the other at the moment, but winning winning the other two in the near future, I would say.
Right. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
And tell people that I keep telling people that you have a Turkish channel.
Oh yeah, I have a Turkish channel. It's Apostate Prophet Türkçe, if for all those Turkish speakers, or for all those who want to hear Turkish stuff for some weird reason.
I really like that we're doing this. You're doing it in Turkish. The Arabic YouTube, anti-Islam Arabic YouTube world is already growing very, very fast, right? You're doing the Turkish one. You're one of the top one on the Turkish side, and I like how Harris Sultan is doing the Urdu one. Right, so he's cornering that market, and I'm doing the Persian one. So we're not just fighting Islam as a defense, right? We're going to the Darul Islam. We're going to there. It's an offensive. Like, we're going to where Islam, the source. We're going right to the source and attacking it where Islam comes from. We're not just saying, okay, you keep your Islam, just don't bring it to me. No. We're coming after your Islam. We're ending Islam right at the source, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not coming for us.
Yeah. Someone said, is Apostate Prophet Turkish? Yes, I'm of Turkish origin. So my parents are Turkish. I was born in Germany, but of Turkish origin. And I also lived in Turkey. I lived all over the place. It's a complicated story, whatever. Okay, I want to read the super chats, which I have completely skipped during the stream. I don't want to say ignored. That sounds mean.
No, just kidding.
So P made a super chat and said, thanks for your work, AP. Likes and subscribers be upon you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. By the way, if you like this video, please.
Yes.
If you like this stream, please like this stream.
I already done that.
Yeah, thank you, Armin. You're being a good example today.
I need to become a patron of you and Harris Sultan and Abdullah Samir at some point. I don't.
If you want, I don't know. I
know Susanna is. Susanna is of
Oh, nice. I appreciate that. Someone said Apostate Prophet. I hear the German accent. Yeah, I kind of have a weird accent. It's like a combination of my German accent, my kind of a little Turkish influences here and there, and then there's like my British way of learning English in the first place, and now living in America and being Americanized. So it's kind of very strange what's happening in my mouth here.
That's what she said.
Stop it. Rick Baldu made a super chat and didn't say anything, but I appreciate it. Michael Gillimore made a super chat of $20 and said, off-topic question, what is your opinion on Erdogan making threats to attack Greece? Do you think Turkey will try to invade? Also, thank you guys for all of the work you do. I always learn something new from you guys. First off, thank you so much, Michael Gillimore. I appreciate it very much. Are you following the situation with Erdogan and Greece and all that, Armin, or...
Well, I remember this was a thing since when I was in Cyprus. It was still a big mess between it's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been a mess. The current thing is just that they're again at a peak of the heat, where Turkey is kind of making threatening moves of domination in the Mediterranean, and Greece is like, hey, back off, man. And Turkey is kind of threatening to become more aggressive. But I have to say one thing about Turkey, and I don't feel sorry at all to all those proud Turkish patriotic people who will say, hey, how dare you talk like that, because people are very sensitive about this stuff. But I have to say that the history of the Turkish Republic consists of Turkey bluffing and bluffing and bluffing and not doing a single thing ever. So especially the current government, all they can do is just issue threats, issue big words, but do nothing. So nothing bad is going to happen. Turkey has to abide by certain agreements in the world. Turkey would be screwed if they tried to actually do a stupid move in the Mediterranean. And Turks shouldn't trust their faith.
Have you done any videos on the Armenian genocide?
I did make one far in the past, 2 years ago, but I think I unlisted that for some reason. I don't know, because I thought I wanted to go through that again in the future, but then I didn't. But yeah, I did. Matteo Za made a super chat and said, Armin, don't forget Sexy Kali. All my family became out of Islam when they literally felt COVID-19 stronger than their God. What?
Right.
Yeah, so that's the super chat.
Those are two different things. The Sexy Kali. Guys, my Twitter account has been suspended still because of Sexy Kali, because apparently blaspheming against Hinduism is not allowed on Twitter. Again, one of the tweets that is like, I appealed it, but it's been 2 days right now with no response, so I can't use Twitter right now. The Twitter account is still there, but I can't use it. I don't have access to it. And I don't understand. The picture is just like one of the 12 tweets that is apparently against its hateful conduct is just me posting a picture of Sexy Kali, a Hindu goddess. How is that hate speech? I don't understand that. I made a video on this, by the way, recently on Atheist Republic, going over all the tweets. So, Twitter is enforcing blasphemy laws on their platform, apparently. You cannot look at a Hindu goddess and be like, hey, your goddess is sexy, and here's a picture of it. Apparently, that's hateful against Hindus. I don't understand how that works, but okay. Yes, but we want this to backfire. So we're trying to encourage people to use the hashtag SexyKali. Can you type it? Show it to people how to write SexyKali. Hashtag SexyKali.
You want me to do that?
Oh. Yeah. Just use SEXYKA.
I don't want to make my hands bloody. Yeah. But...
hashtag SexyKali.
Yeah.
Yes, please use this hashtag and post your own Sexy Kali, because when people try to take down when they're trying to take down, I mean, you agree the blasphemy should, anti-blasphemy rules should backfire.
No, of course. I think Twitter is ridiculous that they would actually try to lock your account for that. This has nothing to do with hate. This is simply you posting something that could be considered religiously, culturally offensive, and that Twitter locks your account for no justifiable reason. It doesn't go against the community guidelines. It doesn't go against any principle of free speech. This is ridiculous. So you should have every right to post those things. Yeah.
Right. And if people try to intimidate us using these methods, I think that should backfire so that they see that it doesn't work. So that people, like, if you give in to this intimidation, then you're signaling to them that this works. But if it should be like Drawing Muhammad Day. So Drawing Muhammad doesn't get the same level of response that it used to get, right?
Yeah.
Because they turn it into an annual event. So I think, Sexy Muhammad, we will make Sexy Muhammad. I told people, Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. The first drawing that we did was the sexy Cali, right? And I told people once we hit 170 patrons, 60 patrons, we're going to do one drawing every. And guys, go look at sexy Cali. It's like really sexy. Like we did a really good job. It's not pornographic. It's not derogatory in any way. It's elegant. It's sexy, and it's beautiful. Yes, that too. Like that's always been the case. But anyway, but go. It's not, but the second art is going to be Kali and Sita making out with each other, right? Sita is another holy figure in Hinduism, and that's going to be in push for legalizing gay marriage in India. So they're both. This was Susanna's idea. So Sita and Kali will be it'll be a lesbian kiss, and that art is still happening right now, and they're both going to be wearing wedding rings, and there's going to be like a rainbow flag or something behind them as well, or somewhere. So that is blasphemy, and also for push for legalizing gay marriage in India. The second one, okay, you said Sexy Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
The third one. Again, this is in a celebration of us reaching 160 patrons at an Atheist Republic, right? The third one is going to be Muhammad and Krishna making out. Muhammad and Krishna, and again, not derogatory, not pornographic, not insulting. Muhammad is actually going to be sexy, okay? It's going to be elegant, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be again. This is me giving in to the ladies and to the gay people in our audience, because I was going to do one lesbian kiss after another, but people are like, Armin, you're being sexist. You need to do some male figures. I'm like, fine. We're going to have Muhammad and Krishna making out. And that's going to be blasphemy against Islam and Hinduism at the same time, while celebrating LGBT. The third one is something that I'm going to give as a gift to the Hindus, right? Because Hindus are like, Armin, you cannot. This is like a sign of male domination. When you make like sexy Kali, this is like oppressive. This is like putting, male domination over female kind of thing. That is like that we don't like this at all. Like, okay, so the third one, given that how Hindus keep saying like, oh, you don't understand, Armin, the political climate at the time in India is when Islam has done so much, like we have suffered Islamic domination, and there's double standards here. So the third one is going to be Kali is going to come back, and Muhammad is going to be in bondage, okay? And there's going to be a BDSM art, okay?
Okay.
And this is consensual, okay? Both Muhammad and Kali are enjoying BDSM, and Kali is going to be whipping Muhammad in bondage, okay? Again, that is going to be, it's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be like, ew, like making like Muhammad looks going to go gross as the way. It's going to be like an art that anybody that is not insane is going to look at it like, oh, that's actually beautiful. That looks sexy. That looks nice. So Muhammad in bondage, sexy Muhammad, not trying to be insulting Muhammad, a sexy Muhammad that is taking a beating from Kali again. And also, this is a gift to Hindus, because for so long they like it's about Islam dominating over Hindus. This is their Kali dominating over Muhammad. This is like a payback time for all of that, right? So that symbolism should be something that the Hindus could appreciate, right? Fourth one is going.
We have to go through the super chats. We are over.
Okay, last one. The fourth one is going to be Fatima and Aisha after Muhammad's death. So she's an adult. She's an adult in this situation.
Okay.
After Muhammad's death, so she's adult. Muhammad died. Aisha was 18 when Muhammad died. Fatima and Aisha will be making out with each other. Okay, and this Fatima will be representing Shias, and Aisha will be representing Sunnis, and we're going to have beautiful Arabic calligraphy right next to them. In Arabic calligraphy saying Fatima next to Fatima, and Arabic calligraphy next to Aisha saying Aisha, and Fatima and Aisha, like there's going to be peace and love between Sunnis and Shia when they're making out with each other. Okay, lesbian love between Shias and Sunnis. That's going to be the fourth one. But go on.
Man, you're bringing chaos upon yourself.
If you want to support this, become a patron on Atheist Republic.
You heard it. Okay, let's go through the super chats. Come on. Alexander Dahl made a super chat and said, La ilaha illa Paygambar, apostate prophet. I appreciate that. James SC made a super chat of 10 pounds and said, I was just in an AMA on an atheist Discord server with a content creator involved in atheism called Creationist Cat. And he said that a lot of ex-Muslims, like Armin Navabi, end up far right. How much does the Christian background atheist community reject ex-Muslims for being too harsh toward Islam? First off, I have to say Armin Navabi is not far right. He's just...
I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But there is in fact a lot of backlash that we often get from within atheists and from others to ex-Muslims that we are too harsh on Islam, which comes from a place of compassion, but also a place of ignorance.
Islam is far right.
Islam is far right. Yeah, Islam is basically far right.
I'm against Islam because Islam is far right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I appreciate the question, James SC. But yeah, there is often a backlash regarding that. It just often comes from a place of ignorance, and that's why people need to be more informed about what Islam is, what it teaches, what it is about, and so on. Susanna, glad to see you here. Glad to see you here, Susanna. Susanna made a super chat and said of $20 and said, "Atheist Republic loves our fallible prophet." I still don't know if I'm fallible, but I will look.
That's part of your.
Yeah.
That's part of you being fallible. That's also wrong.
Atheist Republic loves our fallible prophet. Thank you. But this super chat is dedicated to the woman who fuels him to keep him going. Please tell Mrs. AP that I love her. Thank you so much.
This is her woke background.
No, thank you so much. I have to admit, my wife,
Yes.
she supports me a lot and she motivates me a lot. She did so from the very beginning.
She supports us too. She's a patron on Atheist Republic.
Yeah.
Yes.
She cares a lot about causes.
Yes.
She was the person who initially gave me the idea to make my own YouTube channel to talk about these things. So
honestly, like without having support like that, most of this would be impossible.
Yeah.
Like I know I was making fun of Susanna, but it is true. Like without having something like that to emotion, because once you turn off the camera and you go, if you don't have somebody to tell you that you know giving you the emotional support, it's really, really difficult to continue doing stuff.
That's true. That's true. Matteo ZZA made a super chat of 10 Australian dollars and said, "Hi everyone, Armin sold his house, car, all cash that he had, $500,000. Please help this lovely guy. He just sacrificed himself, my man." What? Oh, did you sell all your?
Yeah.
What was it about?
No, so yeah, I used to be rich, but I couldn't financially. I wasn't making enough to keep Atheist Republic going, so I had to. So this part of people, probably some people from my community that know this, that I had to basically give up a lot of the things, everything I owned, to make sure that I could continue paying our team and doing the things that we do.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, but guys, do not, again, I have to say this to everyone. Do not support us financially if you're struggling financially, okay? Again, do not support us financially if you're struggling financially.
The thing is, that just makes you much more respectable to me and to probably to many other people that you actually care about.
But there are other ways of support. You could like this video, right? If you don't, it doesn't cost you a single cent to like this video. So if you're not liking, if you just do that, right? If you're struggling financially, you could just do that. Like you could share the video. That helps a lot, right? So you do not, again, if you are in debt and you're thinking like, yeah, I'm in debt, but maybe I could support these guys a little bit. And no, do not do that. Okay. Do not do that. First,
I agree.
Yeah. Take care of yourself more. That's what,
I agree. I appreciate that. Somebody says, Ridvan, this is a serious question. Is there anything good about Islam? This is not a super chat, but I just saw it several times and I wanted to pick that up quickly. I haven't really thought about it. Is there anything good about Islam? Now, to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't say that I can ever think of anything that is good in Islam. No. So I would like to be fair, not for the sake of being fair, but I would like to search myself and find something that I actually find good about Islam. and say, "Oh yeah, come on, okay, we have to be honest. This is good about Islam." But I have to tell you, I thought about this quite often, and I cannot find a single thing that I find good about Islam, except maybe about what I find good about religion in general, which is not to say that religion is good. I'm not here making that argument again, but that it provides a sense of efficiency in a way. But not even in that sense, Islam does it the right way, because Islam does it very forcefully and very forcibly. And I cannot mention a single thing that I actually like about Islam, to be honest.
So, can I answer that too?
Sure, go ahead.
The things that are good about Islam make Islam worse. Okay? So, for example, like Islam teaches you that to take care of orphans, right? You think that's a good teaching or not? Like, you have
that is a good teaching, but can you really? I mean, that's a deep issue. I wouldn't necessarily say that is just.
I think that's a good teaching, that we need to be mindful of orphans and take care of them. And Muhammad was consistent with that even before, pre-Medina, post-Medina. He was always consistent with being obsessed with. But again, that makes
fine.
Islam.
Yeah, I guess I could actually say that is a good teaching.
Right, but that makes Islam worse.
It's very isolated.
Let me tell you what that's more. Those so-called good parts of religion actually makes religion more dangerous, right? And the example I give you is like, imagine like Hitler. Okay, imagine like we had alternative history of Hitler. He still did all the crimes that he committed. 6 million Jews. How many millions of gypsies and gay people and handicaps and all those other people? Again, we should never forget, like 3 million, I think, because everybody forgets them, right? You always like, 6 million Jews. There's also 3 million other people, and all the other people who died in crime and all other things, all the crimes that associated with Hitler, all of that was still there. Okay, but we also have record of Hitler being very, very obsessed with taking care of poor children. Hungry children. And we had pictures of Hitler going in the streets with food and feeding children, starving children, hugging them, feeding them, giving them toys, providing shelters. Imagine if all of that was there. That would be horrible if that was there. Because one of the great things about Nazism is that it's so obviously evil and vile, and that it didn't survive even one generation, right? It's so obviously vile that with all, that all the harms and all the crimes committed because of Nazism, it managed to stay in power as a government in less than one lifetime, right? And so an ideology like Islam has been in power in many countries for hundreds of years. And it's because it's not that obviously evil. I do think like something like Nazism would have done more harm to more people if it had messages that more people could be like, what, this is why this is good, right? Even if all of those atrocities still existed and all of those harms were still being done because of Nazism, if Hitler had some messages like warm and fuzzy feel-good messages here and there, that will increase the survivability of that ideology, and that's why it would increase the number of victims of that ideology. So when it comes to warm and fuzzy simple messages in religion that are actually good, they are good, but they are also the worst part of that religion, because those are exactly what the religions will use as a PR front, and it will make it the death of that religion slower.
That's a nice view. That's a good nuanced view of actually evaluating the religion in its bigger picture, instead of just isolating its teachings. Which is why I do that to an extent, which is why I can barely look at a good teaching and say, hey, this is a good teaching. But if you want to isolate specific teachings, that I could probably say I would have to be fair. And although the bigger picture is that Islam is a terrible ideology, Okay, yes, the whole emphasis on taking care of orphans, which should not be mixed up with adoption. Adoption is forbidden in Islam in the sense that you cannot take in a child and give that child your family name and say, this is my son. But you can take in a child and have that child as your obviously non-biological son without carrying your name by you, and can grace that child until the child reaches a certain age, and then goes on to live his life. And in that sense, maybe yes, that is a good teaching. That's a good emphasis. But you always have to look at the background of why a teaching finds its place in Islam. It just seems very obvious that the reason taking care of orphans is so much emphasized in Islam is because of Muhammad's situation himself, because he
was an orphan.
Because he was an orphan himself, and it defined much of his life. And I would even believe that it turned him into the disturbed and suffering person that he became because of the way that he went through, because of the way that he.
If any of the stories are real.
If any of the stories are real, but yeah, his father died before he was born. He was separated from his mother for most of the time throughout his life. We learn nowadays in basic psychology that your mother should be with you for significant numbers of months in your earliest years for you to have good senses of compassion. If you lack that, then you will develop mental problems most of the time. Especially if you know that your mother is around but she's not with you. So that would probably be the reason why he had such a big emphasis on the whole thing about orphans. But then the thing is, you take into consideration, as you said, all the stuff that Islam on the contrary did to society, did to children, did to female children like Aisha, or did to other children, or did to slaves. And you just cannot think, oh yeah, look, there is something good in Islam. Sorry, I cannot look at it that way. I just look at Islam and I think this is a horrible, dirty ideology, and there's no way I could possibly praise that. But anyway, let's move on. I will quickly go through these super chats, and then we need to really go. I'm falling asleep. I'm very tired. Sorry to say that. Yunus El Farsi made a super chat of $10 and said, vast majority of Saudi Arabia's population still support their regime and are still Muslim. What do you think makes them more stable as a regime compared to Iran? Quickly, political support, sadly, by many of our hypocritical leaders, politicians, and organizations in the West, which should not support Saudi Arabia, which is literally ISIS as a legitimate government. And that is one of the main reasons why Saudi Arabia is so stable, and which is why many of the people in Saudi Arabia think, "Oh, look, our government is so great. We are proud of it."
And it also makes the United States a much weaker, weaker when it comes to fighting human rights abuses in other places like Iran and China, because they're being such a hypocrite with Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
It's not going to have that much of a teeth anymore, because people are like, yeah, what. You guys have nothing to say. You guys support Saudi Arabia.
It makes me mad when this issue comes up. I mean, we have people in America. Very sorry, I know there are many people in America who support Donald Trump, who support the Republican Party, and who think, yeah, this is we are standing up against such cultural garbage and such abuse, and we are obviously against Islamism and stuff like that. I'm sorry. Donald Trump spent so much of his time, especially in his first years, going there and parading Saudi Arabia and the Saudi Arabian king and prince to the world, and supporting them so beautifully. And America is playing such a big role in supporting Saudi Arabia, which is an atrocious, disgusting state in the Middle East, which is a primary reason why the Middle East suffers, which is a primary reason why terrorism exists throughout the Middle East and North Africa. There is no way that you could possibly claim that you are against those ideologies and sentiments and political attitudes and organizations, but then you go and walk hand in hand with Saudi Arabia and make the sword dance with them and celebrate with them.
Supported their wars and Yemeni civilians, and give them the world's largest weapons deal. But Saudi Arabia will fall one. The Saudi government will fall one day. Because
This is not to say, yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm hoping like when the oil prices fall, this government will go bankrupt in Saudi Arabia. I hope. But again, like the world's greatest humanitarian crisis of our lifetime, that very few people are talking about it, is happening to the civilians in Yemen. And the reason why people are not talking about it is because it's in very few people's political interest.
Yeah.
At least China, for example, United States has motivated to be anti-China. There is no oil. There are poor people in Yemen. Nobody is interested. Not that many people are interested in talking on their behalf, and they're being crushed under a war between Iran and Saudi Arabia as pawns in it, and United States is funding this war. United States is aiding Saudi Arabia, dropping bombs and using on civilians and using starvation as a weapon against not just civilians but children. This is a country that is now disease and starvation is spreading and this is a Saudi Arabian bomb ports to stop medicine to go towards civilians and this is the government. United States this is your tax. If you're an American, right, your tax money is being spent on starving civilian children. Okay, and again, Obama did this, Trump did this, but Trump increased it. Increased it. So as much as we blame Obama for this as well, both Obama and Trump could be considered war criminals because of this.
It's not just about Trump. It's not just about the one party. It's not about one side. The Democrats are equally guilty of keeping that going, putting their money into Saudi Arabia because they think that is necessary to stabilize the region, and putting money into such an atrocious country that literally goes out there helping organizations, helping governments terrorize their own people, that goes out there, bombs countries, bombs people, bombs poor people and children, bombs minorities. And you cannot do that. And even if it's not about the international stuff, you are supporting Saudi Arabia, which is it is a government that you should never associate yourself with. But of course, there are political motivations here. It has to be done. America has to stand with somebody there, and standing with Saudi Arabia is good for the political balance in the region and whatever it is. I'm sorry, it's just not morally acceptable if morality matters in this discussion. And if we're going to talk about the Democrats, they're doing the same thing with other governments in the Middle East that are in no way better, that meddle in the governments of other countries, that meddle in the governments of Egypt, and bring back atrocious laws that were finally toppled, which was then again replaced by more horrible stuff. It's just, complicated matter, but Western nations, Western organizations, Western governments should not support such countries and such organizations. Moving on quickly.
Harris Sultan and Abdullah Samir are in the live chat, by the way.
Harris Sultan, Abdullah Samir, go to sleep.
And Harris Sultan give you a super chat.
Oh, Harris Sultan, thank you, Harris Sultan. Apologies if I have missed that. Do you think Erdogan will succeed in Islamizing Turkey, and Turkey will be able to kick out Erdogan? No, we talked about that. I think it is currently going toward an Islamization, but eventually it will. I totally believe it will. There will be a U-turn, and things will change in a way that will be bad for Islam.
Can I thank your admin Nadaverse, because she right?
Yeah.
She constantly is linking to Atheist Republic in the live chat. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for your amazing admin. Thank you so much.
Wow, she's very sweet. She's very good. Yeah. Thank you, Nadaverse.
Thank you for the link to Atheist Republic's YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay, let's go through this quickly. We're almost at 3 hours. I never wanted to go on 3 hours. Why do we do this?
Your answers are long. That's your fault.
No, it's your fault. Crusaders of the Holy Grail made a super chat of $2 and said, Armin, do you like beef enchiladas? Armin, do you like beef enchiladas?
Yes, but why not make it haram? Make it pork enchiladas.
See? Awesome.
Everything is better if it's haram.
Okay, too long. You're wasting time.
Okay.
Quantum Cosmos QC made a super chat of $5 and said, Hinduism is an evolved religion of a way of life, a 10,000 years old compilation of wisdom that has naturally evolved over time. You should predict Dharma. That is historically untrue. As far as we know, it has not been 10,000 years. But if you claim so and believe so, go ahead.
But even if all of that was true, it could be all of that and the religion.
Okay. I've recently shared my thoughts on what I think on Hinduism, what I think about Hinduism, what I think about Christianity, what I think about Islam on Twitter. What I thought about Islam was very short, very brief.
Yeah,
really.
I responded to that. That was
good. Joseph Daniel became a member of the channel and thereby became an official prophet. Welcome, Joseph. By paying $5, you can become a prophet yourself. Muhammad created an entire army and oppressed people and married children to become a prophet, but you can only become a prophet on this channel for $5. Thank you so much, Joseph Daniel, for reminding us of that. Danny SLT made a super sticker with a GG. Antonello Di Soto made a super chat of €109.99. Thank you so much, Antonello. Thank you so much, Antonello Di Soto. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Really, seriously. Thank you. And said, Ciao AP, thank you for your job. God bless you and your family. Praying for you, hoping you will know one day the real and only God and Savior, Jesus Christ. I feel bad when you are being so generous and then you're hoping for a change to happen that I don't believe will happen.
For 110 euro, I'll accept anybody you want. Christ, the Satan, the devil, anybody. I'll accept Muhammad for 110 euros as well if you
want. Of course you're kidding. Antonello Di Soto, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it very much. Seriously, I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the wishes, and I know where this is coming from, which is why I really sympathize with it. The issue is, I have been saying that I will publish a video on why I don't believe in God for over a year now. I still haven't done it. In fact, I have recently prepared it. It's almost done, but I still haven't finished it. But I will publish it soon. But I want to really explain why I don't believe in God, and I think it will be pretty clear. And if anyone then wants to discuss that with me, please come on my channel and discuss it with me directly. I appreciate it very much. Elif made a super chat. Elif is a Turkish name. I appreciate it very much.
Same here as well. If anybody wants to convert me to Christianity, I wouldn't like fight against you like publicly, like I would be very friendly and civil with it. Okay, like it would be a friendly conversation.
Awesome. Don't believe Armin. He's unpredictable. He could.
No, look at my conversations with my face-to-face, my one-on-one conversations with Muslims and Christians. They're actually very friendly. It's not as aggressive as these when I'm just shouting at the camera with you guys. But go on, sorry.
Okay. Elif made a super chat of $5 and said, do more shows like this with other ex-Muslims. Thank you so much, Elif. I appreciate it. I will. I'm trying to come back to making stuff again. I got really tired of all the disgusting stuff that happened between me and Muslim apologists over the last 2 months, which is why I kind of leaned back a little bit. But yeah, I will do stuff like this more again. Not a verse made a super chat and said of $10 and said, all this hair focus of yours makes me think that you should start a boy band. Ask Armin, he might be down to join. Just promise me one thing, the band will be known as the Yajuj Majuj Boys.
Hello. Nobody would like to hear us. Do you know what to sing? I don't know.
No.
It would be horrible.
I made a video in which I was joking about Yajuj Majuj and how I thought it sounds very offensive. It sounds like, hey, Yajuj Majuj.
Yeah, I could not stop laughing. You couldn't stop laughing, and I could not stop laughing because you couldn't stop laughing. It was the best. It was so good. You kept on saying it every time. I thought you were stopping. You were just saying it again.
I always thought that whenever I thought Yajuj Majuj, I always thought, man, it sounds kind of dirty. It sounds very dirty. That's what I thought. But
didn't you end the video with just saying it one last time, like really quick? That just had me in tears. It was so good.
I'm glad that you appreciate it. And thank you so much, Nataverse. Thank you so much, as always. Blackie Hosware, I don't know how you say that, said in a super chat of Canadian $10, when Christians conquered back Spain, they imposed the Inquisition. When Europe had enough with capitalism, they replaced it by communism. Aren't you scared Iran will replace Islam by a hardcore form of atheism? When did Europe replace capitalism with communism? Capitalism is still like the core of Europe, even if there is like even if there is a social welfare state here and there, and social states here and there. It's still, capitalism is still at the core. Everything is still built on capitalism in Europe and in America. Never happened. I don't know. But aren't you scared Iran will replace Islam by a hardcore form of atheism, Armin?
I'm always afraid of a power vacuum of what it would be filled with, right? So that is always a concern. I'm saying this is not a popular opinion among Iranians, because Iranians think that the government falling will solve everything. But I am worried. But I have, given the most recent data, I'm a little bit less worried, because a lot of people seem to want a secular democracy. Like, I knew that on social media, always knew that that's a popular thing for people to want, but it does seem that is statistically, even religious people seem to prefer a secular democracy right now in Iran. So that makes me a little bit more hopeful. But again, am I worried? Yes, I am worried.
Awesome. Keep being worried. Pi said. P,
oh, wait, sorry. Let me just add one last thing. I'm not worried. It's not going to be a secular authoritarian regime that I'm worried about. I think the most likely, the scary scenario that is most likely among all scary scenarios would be another Shia, because the Shias are the most organized ones, right? So if there's a power vacuum, it could be replaced by another authoritarian Shia regime.
Let us hope that will not happen.
Yes.
P said in a super chat, Islam is still winning the demographic battle, though, mainly because of birth rates in lesser developed countries. What's your prognosis for these? I would say
we're coming after your kids. We're coming at Muslims. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes.
That sounds very bad.
We're coming for your children. Okay?
that sounds very bad.
No, but again, they could have as many babies as they want. As long as we have access to them, we will take their children towards atheism. We will make atheists out of your babies. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't believe that Islam is winning anything at all. Islam is growing fast, as it seems, because of high birth rates among Muslims, because Islam encourages more a reproductive society, and because of the young age of Muslims. But that is changing as well, and the number of people leaving Islam day by day is big. Okay. What the hell happened here? What the hell has happened to my screen? I cannot see the super chats. What the hell? Wait, give me a second. Give me a second. Something happened to my. There were 2 super chats left.
I mean, again, guys, the whole idea of them making babies only works if they keep their babies in a bubble. Okay, but we're gonna that shield that they're trying to create around them. It's not going to work, right? Like, they could, like, again, they could have 10 babies and we could make no babies. As like, how many of their babies can they keep into Islam?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. Armin did not mean that he wants to kidnap your children. That is not what that was about. That's what the Ottoman Empire did with European children, by the way. That's what the Ottomans actually literally did. That they went on, they kidnapped they took the children, not kidnap, but also kidnap occasionally, but they took the children of European Christians and forcibly raised them as Muslims in their own court to make them powerful warriors known as the Janissaries. Or Yenichiri in Turkey. Harris Sultan made a super chat. I read it already, but Australian dollars 5. Apologies if I have missed that. Do you think Erdogan will succeed? We have already read that. I'm sorry. Spider the ATU made a super sticker of $5 and said, "Good job." That's awesome. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And hereby we have come to the end of super chats and super stickers. Now, I don't want to keep you here any longer. I don't want to keep myself here any longer. I don't want to keep Armin here any longer. I really have to go home. I don't know why I'm still awake. But
I'm gonna go.
Anything final that you want to say, Armin?
No, today I'm taking a break from live streaming, but if you come to Atheist Republic, we almost have live streamings almost every day, so join us there. And yeah, let me know which one of the videos of the Apostate Prophet you want us to review there. Give me suggestions and we'll do it. Like, on Atheist Republic, we have a Discord server, so we'll take all the suggestions in our Discord server. There's a chat. Do you have a Discord server? You need to make a Discord
I
server.
do have one, and it's actually connected to my Patreon. And when people become Patreon supporters, they actually directly land in my Discord server, automatically. The thing is that I've been looking for somebody to manage my Discord server, but I haven't really found anyone. And
Yes.
I initially thought I would totally do that myself, but I cannot find time for anything, let alone for that.
It's a great way to get rid of all the noise and have a communication with your community and get their feedback faster rather than having to go through. So it's a good way to interact with everybody.
So if someone wants to come and take care of my Discord server and be part of it, please, it will be an honor to me. Izzy said, no, let's go 12 hours. Okay. You want to keep
I don't think StreamYard lets you do 12 hours.
No, I think 8 hours is max. Anyway, I don't even want to think about it. Because of the internet, we don't have our bubble anymore. Yes, Riccardi. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, that's a good quote. I'm going to steal it.
This is a fantastic quote. It sounds like an Einstein quote. Okay.
See, that's what I mean when I say people are like, oh, Armin, you're being creepy when I say we're coming after your children. But that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah. We're coming after your children. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for joining. Thanks for coming. Hopefully we will see you again next time. I will see you again next time. I mean, I even want to go live tomorrow by myself. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't done a Q&A.
Do it.
Okay, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, and subscribe to the guys. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to this Apostate Prophet, subscribe right now. Around half of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. Like, what the hell is up with that, right? Again, every single one of you, every single person that is not subscribed to this channel I'm watching right now, subscribe right now. Do it now. I do that. It works.
I bet it does. If I was a viewer right now, I would immediately subscribe. Okay. But thank you for that. I think you just broke my headphones or something. I don't know. I suddenly hear less. Maybe you broke my ears. But thanks everybody. Have a fantastic day or night or whatever it is that you people have. See you again, and as always, please stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.